Hello there and welcome to 100 Facts to Drift. I'm so glad you've joined me tonight. As you settle into your most comfortable space, let your shoulders drop and your breath slow down. We are about to begin a journey into 100 calming facts about hydropower and dams. Fact 1. The gentle strength of falling water. Water never rushes. It simply follows gravity's patient invitation. When it falls from a height, each droplet carries a quiet force, kinetic energy transformed into motion. Hydropower uses this soft descent, turning the pull of Earth into gentle electricity. Imagine billions of drops working in harmony, whispering down through turbines that hum like a lullaby. This is nature's way of showing that great power can come from stillness, that calm flow can light entire cities. As you listen to this thought, feel your breath flowing downward peacefully, just as the river flows to rest. Fact 2. The reservoir's mirror. Behind many dams lies a wide, glassy reservoir, a lake born from the embrace of land and water. Its surface mirrors the sky, storing not just water, but potential energy, waiting patiently. Scientists call it stored gravitational energy, but to the dreaming mind, it's a reflection pool of time itself. The stillness above hides invisible readiness below. Like the mind before sleep, quiet yet full of potential, the reservoir teaches us that stillness is not emptiness. It's gathering power for the next gentle motion. Fact 3. The turbines whisper. Deep inside a hydropower plant, turbines spin with a serene rhythm, blades shaped like petals in an endless underwater bloom. As water glides through, it coaxes the turbine to turn, transforming fluid motion into electrical current. What could be more delicate than movement born of water's caress? The hum of the turbine is not a roar, it's a murmur of transformation. And like the turbine, your thoughts tonight can turn slowly, converting the rush of the day into the quiet energy of dreams. Fact 4. Gravity's gentle hand. Every drop of water that flows toward a dam is guided by gravity's invisible hand. This force, constant and unhurried, asks nothing of us but trust. Scientists describe it as acceleration toward Earth's center, but in the language of rest, it's simply surrender. The same gravity that moves rivers also holds you close to your bed, anchored and safe. When you exhale, imagine gravity gathering your worries, drawing them softly down, until only peace remains. Fact 5. The energy cycle of rain. All hydropower begins with rain. Tiny droplets formed in clouds drift until gravity calls them home, falling into rivers, gathering strength, and beginning their timeless orbit. The water that once brushed against mountain stones may one day pass through a turbine, light a home, and rise again as vapor. The hydrologic cycle is a breathing planet's rhythm: inhale, exhale, rain, evaporation. As you rest, imagine yourself part of this endless loop, a gentle pulse in the heartbeat of Earth. Fact 6. The balance of flow. In hydropower systems, balance is everything. The flow of water must be perfect, neither too fast nor too slow. Engineers adjust gates and channels, tuning the current like a soothing melody. This harmony ensures steady energy without harm. The lesson is simple: balance sustains both rivers and rest. Just as water finds its level, so too can your thoughts settle tonight, finding that quiet equilibrium where peace and energy coexist. Fact 7. The sound of a dam at dawn. Before sunrise, the air around a dam is hushed, except for a deep, steady murmur. It's the sound of water meeting structure, power meeting patience. Mist rises softly, scattering light into silver threads. Each molecule of water glides past the concrete, unhurried. Scientists measure flow rates and pressures, but to the heart, it's the sound of calm strength. If you listen closely, you can almost hear it now, a low hum reminding you that serenity often hides beneath the surface of motion. Fact 8. The dance of electrons. When water turns a turbine, it sets electrons dancing through copper wires. Invisible, weightless, they move like tiny lanterns, carrying light across great distances. This is electricity, motion made visible. Hydropower offers one of the cleanest ways to let that dance continue, powered by the endless patience of rivers. As you rest, imagine those electrons as soft glimmers drifting through you, a quiet current of warmth and renewal. Fact 9. The ancient river memory. Long before dams, rivers shaped valleys and nourished life. Hydropower is a modern echo of an ancient process, the harnessing of movement. Some dams have stood for generations, their foundations remembering every drop that has passed. Each flow leaves a trace, like dreams leave impressions in morning light. When you think of this ancient energy, let it remind you that every breath you take tonight carries the memory of oceans, clouds, and rain. You are part of that endless story. Fact 10. The gentle mathematics of flow. The science of hydropower can be written in equations of motion and pressure, yet behind those symbols lies poetry. Flow rate, head, efficiency. All describe how water's journey becomes light. But in the language of rest, these numbers translate to harmony, enough, steady, continuous. Just as your breathing finds its rhythm, so does a river find its flow, never forced, always returning. Tonight, let your thoughts move like that water, balanced, measured content. Fact 11. The hidden ecosystem beneath. Beneath a reservoir's calm surface, life hums quietly. Fish drift through cool layers, algae bloom in slow spirals, and sediments settle like dream dust. Hydropower systems are designed with care to let water continue its ecological whispers, maintaining currents that sustain life downstream. In that balance, energy and nature coexist. As you drift towards sleep, imagine those unseen worlds, peaceful, suspended, alive, reminding you that even in stillness, life continues its gentle work. Fact 12. The light that flows back home. When hydropower lights a home, that energy feels almost familiar. It began as rain high in the mountains, traveled through rivers, danced through turbines, and returned as warmth in a glowing lamp. In a way, the light we see is just water in another form, energy made visible. Every flicker is a reminder that natural cycles never truly end. As you close your eyes, picture that light flowing back into you. Calm, clean, endlessly renewing. Fact 13. The pulse of the planet. If you could listen closely enough, you'd hear Earth's pulse in every flowing river. Hydropower simply translates that rhythm into energy we can use. It's one of the oldest forms of renewable power, tracing back centuries when water wheels turned grain mills and dreams. Today, those same principles spin vast turbines, still powered by the same patient flow. The planet breathes through its waters, and tonight, as you breathe, you share that same tranquil pulse. Fact 14. The architecture of calm. A dam is both strength and grace, concrete shaped to hold back a river's might without breaking its spirit. Engineers design each curve to guide water gently, turning potential chaos into balance. It's a masterpiece of patience and precision, built to last through decades of seasons and storms. As you rest, imagine that same architecture within you, a mind that holds back the rush of worries, channeling them into stillness, a structure strong enough to cradle peace. Fact 15. The endless return. Water never disappears, it transforms. The droplets that turn turbines today may become tomorrow's clouds. This is hydropower's quiet promise, renewal without end. The energy drawn from falling water is replenished by the same sky that we gaze upon. Nature's cycle is infinite, circular, and kind. As you drift deeper into rest, imagine yourself part of that eternal return. Each breath a wave, each dream a cloud, always coming back to calm. And now, let the whispering waters fade gently into the background. The rivers continue their patient work, powering the world while you rest, floating on the soft current of sleep. Fact 16. The river's pulse never stops. Even when we sleep, rivers do not. They glide on night after night, carrying whispers of rain from mountain to sea. Hydropower is born from this steady heartbeat, a partnership between gravity and water, between patience and motion. Each droplet slipping through a turbine becomes a tiny note in the planet's hum, turning movement into quiet, endless light. Imagine lying beside such a river, hearing its constant murmur, the same rhythm that spins the blades, that hums through distant towns. In that sound there is assurance. The world keeps breathing while you rest. Let the thought ripple through you, that flow, that dependability. It is the very shape of calm. Fact 17. Gravity's gentle hand. Hydropower isn't pushed by engines or flames, it's guided by gravity itself. Water stored high behind a dam falls softly downwards, always seeking lower ground. Each descent is graceful, ancient, inevitable. As it drops, it turns turbines like slow pinwheels under the moonlight. In that motion, we glimpse nature's quiet engineering. No hurry, no waste, only balance. Just as your breath falls and rises without effort, water follows its path without force. Let your thoughts drift with it, down the smooth curve of gravity's hand, always returning to stillness. Fact 18. The lake that waits. Behind every dam lies a lake that waits patiently, a mirror of sky, a keeper of potential energy. It doesn't rush, it stores. The surface may look still, but beneath it, each molecule holds a story of rainfall and sunlight. Scientists call this stored water potential, but in truth, it feels like serenity made visible. The reservoir waits for the perfect moment to release its calm power. Just as we gather strength in slumber, the lake gathers motion in stillness. Rest, too, is storage, the gathering of energy for tomorrow's gentle flow. Fact 19. Turbines that turn like dreams. Inside the dam, turbines spin in darkness, slow, deliberate, elegant. They don't shout or spark, they hum. Each blade glides through water as if stirring a midnight tea, turning liquid motion into electricity. There is poetry in that unseen rotation, a kind of mechanical lullaby. As you breathe, imagine your thoughts turning just as smoothly, converting the currents of the day into quiet understanding. The turbine, like the dreaming mind, transforms motion into meaning, always calm, always turning. Fact 20. The energy of falling light. Though hydropower draws from water, its true source is sunlight, every droplet lifted by evaporation, every cloud born from warmth. The dam, then, is a storehouse for sunlight made liquid. When water descends, it releases not just gravity, but the memory of the sun. Each spark of power is a whisper from distant heat, transformed into gentle illumination. As you rest, think of that journey: light to vapor, vapor to rain, rain to river, river to calm power. The world recycles its energy tenderly as you recycle your breath in sleep. Fact 21. The river's slow memory. A river remembers the shape of the land it touches. Every bend, every stone teaches it where to go. In hydropower, that memory is preserved, channels shaped to guide its ancient wanderings into useful motion. Yet the character of the river remains patient, persistent, forgiving. Even when redirected, it continues to flow. Like the mind before sleep, the river softens its edges, forgetting turbulence, remembering only continuity. Let your thoughts follow that same pattern, meandering, remembering only the smooth turns. Fact 22. The balance of flow and stillness. Hydropower depends on a paradox, the meeting of movement and pause. The reservoir holds, the spillway releases. The alternation creates balance, a rhythm not unlike the cycle of inhale and exhale. Scientists call it regulation, nature calls it harmony. The dam does not trap the river forever, it simply teaches it to breathe. As you drift deeper into rest, imagine your own internal rivers finding that equilibrium, a pause that powers you, a stillness that flows. Fact 23. The whisper of efficiency. Hydropower is one of the most efficient energy forms on Earth. Nearly all the water's motion becomes usable power, nothing wasted, nothing burned. It's a system of near-perfect translation. Movement becomes light, flow becomes warmth, gravity becomes glow. Efficiency, in this gentle sense, is not haste, it is grace. The same grace that allows you to rest completely, knowing every breath counts, every heartbeat contributes. Efficiency can be tranquil, a quiet perfection woven through the planet's pulse and your own. Fact 24. The ancient origins of power. Long before turbines, humans used rivers to turn wooden wheels, ancient mills grinding grain beside the patient current. Those early inventions whispered of what was possible, using nature's steady rhythm instead of fire's fury. Hydropower has always been a conversation between human curiosity and water's calm persistence. Even now, in vast concrete dams or tiny village turbines, that dialogue continues. As you rest, imagine joining in, your heartbeat syncing with the timeless spin of water wheels, steady and sure. Fact 25. The quiet reservoir of the night. At dusk, reservoirs become vast mirrors for stars. The water rests, reflecting constellations that seem to float upon its surface. Beneath that calm, the stored energy of countless rivers waits in silence. Hydropower at night reminds us that even when the world sleeps, potential remains. The stillness of night is not emptiness, it is readiness. As you lie in darkness, imagine yourself as that lake, still, reflective, full of quiet strength waiting to flow at dawn. Fact 26. The breath of the spillway. When water rushes over a dam's spillway, it releases air, bubbles rising, mist forming, oxygen mixing into the stream below. This aeration renews life downstream, feeding fish, soothing ecosystems. It's a breath the river takes after long stillness. Each rush is both exhalation and renewal. In your own rest, you too exhale tension, letting oxygen refresh every cell. The spillway teaches us that even release can be gentle, that every breath, every sigh is part of balance. Fact 27. The symphony of droplets. No single droplet powers a turbine alone. It takes billions, moving together in exquisite coordination. Each one contributes a whisper of momentum, a soft push. Together, they create light for cities, warmth for homes. Cooperation, silent and seamless, becomes energy. In sleep, your own cells harmonize in similar quiet unity, repairing, restoring, aligning. The river reminds us, great power can arise from gentle collaboration, from calm togetherness. Fact 28. The gentle weight of water. Water carries weight, yet moves with grace. Behind the dam, its pressure is vast but patient, a soft firmness against stone. Engineers measure it carefully, but the feeling of it is simple, calm containment. Pressure, when held with respect, becomes potential. In our lives, too, there are gentle pressures, responsibilities, hopes, memories. As you rest, let them settle evenly, like water behind a dam, held, not suppressed, peaceful, not still. That balance is strength, and strength is serenity. Fact 29. The river's endless return. Every drop that spins a turbine will one day rise again, evaporated by sunlight, carried by wind, returned as rain. Hydropower is part of this eternal loop, a promise that nothing is truly spent. Energy becomes water, water becomes cloud, cloud becomes river once more. In that cycle lies reassurance. Endings are beginnings in disguise. As you drift toward dreams, feel yourself part of that same continuum, resting only to rise again renewed. Fact 30. The murmur beneath the earth. Deep beneath the surface, rivers seep through soil and stone, feeding springs that will one day join larger waters. Some of this hidden flow nourishes hydropower from below, unseen but essential. The earth, quietly circulating its lifeblood, reminds us that power can come from depths unseen. As you settle into stillness, remember, beneath your quiet exterior, subtle currents move, repairing, cleansing, sustaining. Like the underground river, your rest is silent but powerful. You are part of the planet's patient rhythm, the gentle murmur beneath all things. Fact 31. The river's slow surrender. Water always finds its way home. In hydropower, that journey becomes a story of surrender, of rivers gently giving their motion to gravity's pull. When water descends through a dam's curved embrace, it's not a fall of force, but of purpose. Each droplet carries stored sunlight, gathered in the clouds, drifting through the earth's tender veins, and released again as quiet energy. Scientists call it potential and kinetic, but in the hush of night, it feels like breathing. The flow begins high, ends low, and in between, there is transformation, motion turned to light, and light softened into warmth. Just as your thoughts descend toward rest, the river too finds its still point, where energy becomes calm once more. Let gravity hold you now, as it holds the water, nothing forced, only the natural pull toward peace. Fact 32. The gentle weight of water. A single cubic meter of water weighs 1,000 kilograms, yet it never feels aggressive. It simply rests, pressed softly by its own mass, waiting for release. In hydropower, that gentle weight becomes the quiet engine of light. Engineers measure pressure, but what we sense is patience. Water waiting, poised with infinite grace. Beneath the surface, molecules whisper to one another, bound by invisible hydrogen bonds, a silent conversation of cohesion and care. When the gates open, gravity invites them downward, turning turbines like lullabies in slow motion. Just as you let go of daytime tension, the reservoir releases its stored calm, flowing into motion, then stillness again. You too are full of quiet energy, waiting to be released into dreams. Fact 33, gravity's endless gift. Gravity never sleeps. It is the universe's most patient companion, always pulling, never pushing. In hydropower, gravity becomes the invisible hand that guides water's descent, turning height into light, stillness into movement. Imagine it as a cosmic caretaker, drawing each droplet downward with tender precision. This same force holds oceans to earth, keeps rivers flowing, and cradles mountains in place. Without gravity, there would be no fall, no flow, no rhythm of waves against the shore. As you drift toward rest, feel gravity's quiet hold on you too, a gentle reminder that letting go is just another way of being supported. Fact 34, turbines, the spinning hearts. Beneath the calm lake of a dam, turbines wait like hidden hearts. When water flows through them, they spin with a soundless hum, converting movement into energy. Each blade moves in perfect balance, shaped to catch the water's whisper rather than its shout. This symmetry is the science of calm, motion without chaos, power without strain. The turbine's steady rhythm echoes the body's own cycles, heartbeat, breath, rest. As the blades turn, the world is quietly illuminated, one rotation at a time. You might imagine your thoughts too, passing through invisible turbines, transformed from motion into light, from activity into peace. Fact 35, the sleeping reservoir. A reservoir is a resting place, an artificial lake where water pauses before continuing its descent. Beneath its mirror surface, time slows, sediment settles, currents breathe softly. For scientists, it's a storage system. For nature, it's a moment of stillness in the eternal flow. The surface reflects sky and cloud, blurring the line between water and air. Like the mind before sleep, it holds potential, tranquil, deep waiting. When the dam opens, this stored serenity flows forward, turning turbines and lighting homes far away. Tonight, imagine your thoughts as that reservoir, collected, calm, not gone, merely resting, until morning's gentle release. Fact 36, the cycle of clouds and currents. Every drop that spins a turbine once floated in the sky. Through evaporation and rain, water completes a perfect circle, an endless rhythm of rise and fall. In hydropower, that rhythm becomes a gentle dance between sun and gravity, sky and stone. The same sunlight that stirs the day also fuels the night's electricity through this quiet exchange of states. It's a reminder that energy is never lost, only transformed, just as wakefulness transforms into dreams. Feel the air around you, rising, falling, cycling through its own invisible flow. You are part of this continuity, this soft, eternal movement. Fact 37, the whisper of pressure. Inside a dam's concrete heart, water presses softly against its walls. The pressure increases with depth, an elegant law of physics, simple and unwavering. Yet even at great depths, the movement remains smooth, controlled, serene. Engineers design each curve to guide the pressure evenly, allowing the structure to hold, to breathe. This balance between force and form is a lesson in calm endurance. Just as the dam withstands the weight of water, you too can hold your thoughts gently, neither resisting nor yielding completely. Feel the inward pressure of the day dissolve, replaced by equilibrium, quiet, and ease. Fact 38. The language of flow. Scientists describe water's path using equations of motion and viscosity, but in truth, flow is a language of surrender. It seeks the path of least resistance, curving, bending, adapting without complaint. In hydropower, this natural instinct becomes a source of strength. The smoother the flow, the greater the energy. In sleep, the same principle applies. Peace flows where resistance ends. Let your breath find its easy route, like a river finding its bed. No effort needed, only the trust that gravity and time will do the rest. Fact 39. Light born from water. It seems impossible, yet from falling water comes light, tiny electrons set free by motion. When turbines spin, they turn magnets through copper coils, creating electricity without flame or smoke. It's a creation story written in silence. The river's descent transformed into illumination. The photons that glow in your room tonight trace their origin to droplets cascading down stone. Energy, once fluid, now dances as light. As you close your eyes, imagine that same conversion within yourself, movement becoming radiance, thought turning into calm, the physics of peace. Fact 40. The pulse of the planet. If Earth had a heartbeat, it might sound like the rhythm of water moving through dams, turbines, and rivers. These systems, scattered across continents, hum in quiet synchronization, each contributing to the planet's steady pulse of power. Hydropower provides nearly 1/6 of the world's electricity, yet its touch remains gentle, its song subdued. Beneath that global rhythm lies the same pattern found in breath. Inhale, exhale, inflow, outflow. As you listen inward, your own pulse aligns with this planetary cadence, slow, even, endlessly renewing. Fact 41. The architecture of stillness. A dam is both monument and meditation. Its walls curve not against nature, but with it, engineered to balance pressure, gravity, and flow. The structure endures by yielding subtly, flexing where needed, standing firm where strength is required. This harmony between motion and immovability mirrors the act of resting. You do not stop existing when you sleep, you simply reshape the flow within. The dam teaches that stillness is not absence, it's a different kind of motion, one that gathers energy for what comes next. Fact 42. The murmur of microcurrents. Even in the calmest lake behind a dam, tiny currents drift, unseen but constant. They carry nutrients, temperature, memory. These microcurrents remind us that stillness is never absolute. There is always gentle life beneath the surface. Scientists study them to understand how ecosystems adapt, how oxygen moves, how balance is maintained. You, too, contain such microcurrents, quiet thoughts, subtle feelings, small motions of the heart. Let them flow unnoticed tonight, gentle and purposeful, sustaining the ecosystem of your own rest. Fact 43. The moon's hidden influence. Though distant, the moon's gravity tugs softly on every drop of water on Earth. Even reservoirs and rivers feel its pull, their levels rising and falling with lunar rhythm. Hydropower plants sometimes adjust operations to these cycles, aligning with nature's subtle timing. The moon and Earth dance in endless partnership, gravity's gentle duet. As you breathe beneath that same moonlight, remember that you too are part of this rhythm. Each inhale, each exhale is a tide within you, moving quietly toward rest. Fact 44. The echo of ancient rivers. Hydropower is a new expression of an ancient song. Long before turbines and dams, rivers carved valleys, turned stones, and shaped the world's surface. The same flowing force that once sculpted canyons now powers homes. Its continuity disguised as innovation. When you look at a dam, you see both the future and the memory of moving water. In your own life, rest serves the same purpose, an ancient need dressed in modern form. Sleep is your return to the riverbed, the place where renewal begins. Fact 45. The stillness beyond motion. When water completes its fall through the turbines, it emerges calm again, its energy given, its surface smooth. Science calls it conservation, the spirit calls it completion. Nothing lost, only transformed. As the river continues downstream, it glides in peaceful balance, lighter for what it has shared. Tonight, you are that river. Let your thoughts descend gently, releasing the energy of the day. At the base of your own dam, find stillness beyond motion, the quiet reservoir of renewal that waits for you in sleep. Fact 46. The reservoir's silent pulse. Beneath the mirror of a reservoir, water waits in still suspension, yet it hums softly with the potential of motion. Hydropower begins not with turbulence, but with rest, a vast body of calm that stores the quiet force of gravity itself. Each droplet holds a promise, a small moment of waiting before it falls again, turning stillness into gentle energy. Scientists call this stored potential energy, but you might simply feel it as the hush before a dream. A peace held in liquid form. The reservoir's surface reflects light like a slow breath, expanding and contracting with the wind. It reminds us that even in complete stillness, there is strength. That rest is not weakness, but readiness. As you drift tonight, imagine yourself becoming the surface of that lake, serene, reflective, quietly gathering power in your stillness. Fact 47. Gravity's gentle hand. Every drop of water that powers a dam is guided by one invisible companion, gravity. It pulls downward, softly but persistently, turning height into flow and flow into energy. The science is simple, but the sensation is profound. The earth itself lending a gentle hand, helping water find its way home. When you think of gravity, imagine it not as a force that holds you down, but one that keeps you safe, anchored, connected. The falling water inside a dam's turbines is like a slow, rhythmic sigh of the planet, a deep and ancient exhale. That quiet descent mirrors your own letting go at the end of the day. Gravity holds you too, steady, cared for, always returning you to stillness. Fact 48. The sleep of water molecules. Water molecules move endlessly, vibrating, colliding, rearranging, yet in the depths of a reservoir, their rhythm slows. The cold water layers beneath the warm, and molecular motion softens into near silence. Scientists call this stratification, but in the language of calm, it's simply rest. Beneath the surface, oxygen moves slowly, light fades, and everything finds its quiet balance. Imagine your thoughts settling the same way, layers of activity sinking gently until only the calmest parts remain. In that deep, cool quiet, the world continues, but slower, softer, more deliberate. Like a body drifting into sleep, the reservoir rests, gathering strength for another dawn of motion. Fact 49. The whisper of turbines. Inside a dam, water turns great metal wings called turbines. Yet their spin is steady, measured, almost like the rhythm of a heartbeat. The science of rotation converts motion into electricity, but the poetry lies in the hush, a deep mechanical whisper that hums through the concrete walls. Each turn is predictable, each sound familiar, a lullaby of precision. As electrons begin their gentle flow through copper veins, light is born from motion. It's the same way your breath fuels your dreams, small, cyclical, dependable. The turbines never hurry. They remind us that power and peace can coexist, that even in movement there can be serenity. Fact 50, the mirror lake effect. When a dam's reservoir is full, it becomes a perfect mirror. A sky doubled, a landscape reflected. This mirror effect is caused by calm water molecules scattering light in unbroken harmony. Photons strike and bounce, painting the same world twice, once above, once below. Scientists see it as optics, dreamers see it as balance. In that still reflection lies a lesson. When the surface of your thoughts is calm, the world shines clearly back at you. The lake does not distort what it sees, it simply accepts, softly, completely. Tonight, let your mind become that surface. Smooth, receptive, reflecting peace without resistance. In fact 51, the arch of strength. Many dams curve gently, like a sleeping body in repose. This shape, the arch, distributes pressure evenly, allowing concrete to hold back entire valleys of water. It's a quiet triumph of geometry. Every curve a gesture of balance, every angle a whisper of trust in physics. The dam does not fight the water. It embraces it, redirecting force back into the earth. This harmony between structure and nature is what keeps the reservoir still. As you rest, imagine your own body arching softly into comfort, distributing the day's weight, finding equilibrium. Like the dam, you hold back the flood only to release it when the time is right, peacefully, purposefully. Fact 52, the sleep of sediment. Over time, fine grains of earth drift to the bottom of a reservoir, layering themselves like pages in a slow diary. This sediment tells stories of rivers, seasons, and storms, a record of motion now at rest. Scientists study these layers to read history, but one can also feel the calm of accumulation, each particle finding its final place, settling after a long journey. The sediment's descent is patient, unhurried. It mirrors how thoughts drift downward in sleep, forming soft layers of memory. Tonight, let your mind settle the same way, gently, grain by grain, until all currents fade into quiet repose. Fact 53. The mist that breathes. At dawn, the surface of a reservoir exhales, a fine mist rising where warm air meets cool water. This is condensation, a small meeting of opposites that creates softness in the air. The vapor curls upward like sighs, diffusing light into silvery haze. It's a daily ritual of renewal, where water returns to the sky for another cycle. The mist's slow ascent mirrors your own breathing as you drift deeper into rest. Each inhale draws in calm, each exhale releases the day. The dam holds the water, the air carries the dream. Together they balance, a gentle duet of transformation. Fact 54, the balanced equation of flow. In hydropower, every drop that flows out must first have flowed in. The energy created is never more than what nature provides, a perfect equation of give and take. Engineers call it conservation of energy. The heart calls it harmony. This steady rhythm of inflow and outflow is the same balance that governs your breath, your heartbeat, your sleep. Nothing wasted, nothing forced. The dam listens to the river, releasing only what is needed, holding only what must be held. Tonight you too can be that balance, receiving, releasing, always returning to stillness. Fact 55. The deep blue memory, water stored behind a dam can remain for years, cycling slowly through depths and shadows. In that time, it changes temperature, light, even color, shifting from bright turquoise near the surface to deep indigo below. This gradient is more than beauty, it's physics at rest, light absorbed and muted as it travels downward. The deeper the layer, the older the memory. Imagine this as your own depth, layers of calm, each darker and more peaceful than the last. As you descend through thought, you reach the quiet blue where nothing stirs, where dreams begin to form like soft ripples in shadow. Fact 56. The gentle release. When a dam opens its gates, water flows out not as chaos, but as choreography, measured, timed, tuned to the needs of life downstream. This careful release sustains ecosystems, prevents floods, and mirrors nature's own balance. The physics of pressure and flow are precise, yet the feeling is organic, the slow exhale of a giant. Each drop finds freedom again. In your own life, release works the same way. Letting go is not losing, it's returning to motion. As you breathe out tonight, imagine the gates opening softly, the day flowing away in perfect rhythm with your calm. Fact 57. The power of falling light. Hydropower is often called renewable energy, but it is also, in essence, captured sunlight. The cycle of evaporation, clouds, and rain begins with the warmth of the sun. Each raindrop that fills a reservoir carries the memory of light transformed into motion. Physics traces the journey, the spirit feels the poetry. The water's fall is sunlight falling a second time, luminous energy made fluid, then kinetic, then electric. When you rest, imagine that same transformation within you, light becoming calm, motion becoming rest. You too recycle the day's energy into peace. Fact 58. The echo beneath the surface. Sound travels differently through water, faster, fuller, more resonant. In the quiet reservoir, even the smallest ripple sends whispers across great distances. Scientists measure these echoes to study depth and density, but you might imagine them as the dreams of the lake itself, gentle murmurs moving through silence. Every sound softens, every vibration slows. Underwater, noise becomes lullaby. Tonight, let your thoughts move like those echoes, slow, gentle, fading into stillness. The reservoir beneath your mind is calm, receiving every whisper with endless patience. Fact 59. The invisible circuit. Electricity born from water travels unseen, weaving through wires toward homes and cities. It moves silently, guided by laws as old as the universe. What began as a drop's descent now becomes light in a window, warmth in a room, comfort in the dark. This invisible circuit connects human life to rivers and rain, creating a quiet unity between nature and nurture. The same invisible threads connect your breath to the rhythm of the world, unseen but steady. As you drift, feel that connection humming softly through you, a current of calm linking you to everything. Fact 60. The still heart of the reservoir. At the center of every dammed lake lies a point of perfect balance, where current ceases, wind calms, and pressure is equal in all directions. This is the reservoir's heart, a place of stillness beyond motion. Physics describes it as equilibrium, but you may feel it as peace, the point where energy rests before becoming. To find it is to find your own center. Beneath the surface of thoughts and dreams, there is a quiet core that neither rushes nor resists. Tonight, drift toward that center, let the currents fade, and rest within your own still heart, vast, patient, unbroken. Fact 61. The river that never sleeps. Even when the world rests, rivers keep whispering, their waters glide over stone and memory, carrying the softness of time itself. Hydropower begins here, in motion that never truly ends. Each drop is a tiny engine of gravity's dream, falling, turning, breathing. The turbines hum like the heartbeat of the earth, gentle and constant. Electricity is born, not from force, but from flow, from surrender rather than struggle. Imagine that, the world lit softly by the patience of water. As you breathe, you might feel the same rhythm, a quiet current within, circulating calm. Let your thoughts drift downstream, slow and certain, towards stillness. Fact 62. Gravity's silent companion. Gravity pulls the water, yes, but the moon helps it dance. Hydropower and tides are old friends, bound by celestial choreography. When the moon passes overhead, it draws oceans and rivers ever so slightly upward, a tender tug across the planet's skin. Dams catch that motion, transforming lunar whispers into energy. The moon, far and patient, becomes a silent partner in the electricity that hums through the night. As you rest, remember, even your pulse follows gravity's rhythm. The same invisible hand that moves water moves you softly downward into the comfort of sleep. Fact 63. The breath of falling water. When water falls, it breathes out air, mist, ions, tiny flecks of freshness that brush the skin like sighs. Around waterfalls and dams, the air is charged with negative ions that lift mood and quiet the mind. Science tells us these particles can ease anxiety, but it feels more like nature's exhale. The turbines spin, mist rises, and the air becomes a lullaby of molecules. In the hush of night, picture that mist drifting toward you, cool, cleansing, luminous. Each breath draws you nearer to quiet equilibrium, as if you too were a waterfall finally resting at the base. Fact 64. The memory of flow. Water remembers, not in thoughts, but in patterns, the way it curls around a rock, the way it finds a path no matter the obstacle. Hydropower respects that memory, guiding water gently through channels designed to echo its instincts. The flow is not forced, it's invited. Just as the mind, when tired, seeks the path of least resistance, the soft descent into rest. Imagine your thoughts following the river's route, bending around small worries, finding the deep pool where silence lives. There the current slows and dreams begin. Fact 65. The deep pulse of the reservoir. Beneath the calm surface of a reservoir, temperature layers form, warm above, cool below, a natural balance of density and calm. The water rests in strata, each layer knowing its place. Engineers study these gradients to maintain ecological harmony, ensuring the lake breathes evenly through the seasons. It's a science of patience, of equilibrium. You too have layers, thoughts at the surface, feelings below, peace at the core. Let them settle gently now, the surface stilling, the deeper waters serene. Fact 66. The turbine's gentle revolutions. Inside a dam, turbines turn with grace, not fury. Their blades curve like petals, shaped to embrace water's flow. Each rotation converts falling water into electric calm, energy born of rhythm, not rush. The physics are pure and ancient, potential becoming motion, motion becoming light. Listen in your imagination, that low hum, that endless turning, like a lullaby of metal and water. As you drift, your breath follows that rotation, in, out, returning always to the same quiet center. Fact 67. The architecture of calm, concrete meets water in arcs and walls that hold, but do not imprison. Dams are sculpted to guide, to cradle the river's strength. Engineers calculate stresses and flows, yet what they build often feels like serenity shaped into stone. The structure itself becomes a meditation, balance between stillness and motion. As you picture it, tall and steadfast under moonlight, feel your own boundaries strengthen. You are held, supported, safe. The river within you flows freely, yet nothing is lost. Fact 68. The moon's hidden contribution. The tides and the moon share a secret, energy, that can be captured through tidal dams and underwater turbines. Its hydropower written in silver light, driven by a celestial companion 380,000 kilometers away. The moon pulls, the ocean responds, and humanity listens, turning that breath into power. Even while you sleep, these quiet exchanges continue, an invisible conversation between water and sky. Let the thought of it soothe you, the universe itself keeping watch, ensuring the lights stay warm, the world keeps turning, and you keep dreaming. Fact 69. The slow art of sediment. In time, rivers carry stories in grains of sand, sediments that settle behind dams like ancient letters in a bottle. Scientists study these layers to understand rainfall, erosion, and past climates. Each particle is a record of a journey, a memory of movement. It reminds us that rest, too, leaves traces. The stillness you create tonight will shape tomorrow's clarity. Let the sediment of your thoughts drift to the bottom and leave only the clear surface of peace above. Fact 70. The murmur of micro-hydropower. Not all hydropower roars from great dams, some whispers from small streams. Micro-hydropower plants, tucked among trees and hills, light remote homes with gentle persistence. They take only what the water freely offers, returning it to the river almost unchanged. There's humility in this design, a partnership, not dominion. Think of your own energy this way, quiet, renewable, flowing through you at just the right pace. You need not rush. Even a small current can shine a light through the night. Fact 71. The balance of ecosystems. Modern hydropower learns from the rivers it borrows, creating fish ladders and passages so life can continue its timeless migration. Engineers mimic nature's wisdom, ensuring the pulse of the ecosystem remains steady. It's a harmony of design and compassion, science listening to the language of water. As fish find their way, so too can your thoughts, moving freely, unblocked, from one shore of awareness to another. Every motion toward balance is a form of rest. Fact 72. The echo of ancient mills. Before vast dams, there were water wheels, gentle devices turning grain into sustenance, motion into meaning. They were the ancestors of turbines, powered by the same physics that still guides modern hydropower. The sound of the wheel was rhythmic, like a heart murmuring through the village night. That rhythm remains in every generator today, a continuity of purpose. As the old wheel turned, so does your breath now, steady, circular, nourishing the moment. In fact 73, the light that water builds. When falling water becomes electricity, the transformation is almost alchemical kinetic energy turning into photons that illuminate homes, hospitals, dreams. Hydropower provides about 16% of the world's electricity, a quiet giant among energy sources. It does so with grace, without smoke or flame. The light it brings is soft, moon-like, a reflection of the rivers that birthed it. As you close your eyes, imagine that light surrounding you gently, powered by the kindness of moving water. Fact 74. The song beneath the surface. Under the waterline, sounds travel faster, ripples of vibration carrying stories of machines and fish, of currents and echoes. Scientists use hydroacoustics to study these whispered patterns, listening to the unseen music beneath dams. It's a symphony of frequencies, ancient and modern intertwined. Imagine that sound reaching you now, low, fluid, comforting. You are part of that same underwater song, your heartbeat another note in the Earth's lullaby. Fact 75. The circle of return. Every drop that spins a turbine eventually returns to the river, unchanged in essence. That is hydropower's quiet promise, to borrow energy without breaking the cycle. The same water that lights a city will someday fall as rain again, beginning anew. There's something deeply restful in that continuity, the assurance that nothing is lost, only transformed. As you drift towards sleep, feel that same cycle within. Inhale, exhale, energy borrowed, then released. The current remembers, the moon watches, and you too are part of the endless, peaceful flow. Fact 76. The gentle descent of water. Water, when it falls, never truly rushes. It glides, pulled softly by gravity's invisible hand. Within a dam, that descent becomes a patient transformation, potential energy turning to motion, then to light. Each drop, once wild in rivers and storms, learns the art of steady turning. The turbines below spin not with haste, but with purpose, slow, sure, endlessly calm. When you think of that movement, imagine your thoughts doing the same, swirling gently, losing their sharp edges, becoming smooth currents of rest. The sound of a turbine is a low hum in the distance, like a lullaby written by the earth itself, steady, circular, soothing. Hydropower is the science of patience, energy drawn not from chaos, but from balance. Tonight, let your mind learn from the water's descent, let your energy flow gently, and your breathing slow into rhythm with the planet's quiet turning. In fact 77, the reservoir's still heart. Behind every dam lies a heart-shaped lake of time, a reservoir where water waits in shimmering stillness. Though vast, it does not hurry. It rests, reflecting clouds, storing sunlight, holding potential. This balance between motion and pause is hydropower's secret, energy saved in serenity. The molecules drift and dream together, waiting to descend through turbines like thoughts passing into sleep. The surface may seem motionless, yet below life continues, fish, silt, and currents moving in whispered patterns. Imagine your own thoughts as that reservoir, deep, reflective, calm. Each breath you take is like a ripple across the surface, soft and circular. The dam's design teaches that stillness can hold immense strength. Let that truth settle inside you now. Peace is not absence of power, it is power contained, waiting, serene. In fact 78, the slow turning of turbines. Inside the concrete belly of a dam, turbines turn slowly, elegantly, like the Earth's own heartbeat. They do not rush. They revolve with the rhythm of rivers, patient and perpetual. Each blade slices through water like a calm thought through the mind, generating quiet strength. The science is simple yet profound. Movement becomes electricity, flow becomes light. In that transformation, there is harmony, a cycle without waste or hurry. Imagine those blades turning within you, gently transforming tension into calm, motion into rest. As the turbines spin, they hum softly, a hypnotic reminder that nothing needs to move fast to be powerful. Tonight, your body is the turbine, your breath the water, your dreams the current, everything turning in unison toward quiet renewal. Fact 79. The dance between gravity and light. Hydropower is a partnership, a slow waltz between gravity and light. Water falls because gravity whispers for it to come closer, and from that descent, light is born. This is the essence of balance. The downward pull creating upward illumination. Each drop of water becomes a messenger, carrying the story of the mountains down to the cities below. When you close your eyes, imagine that fall, not violent, but graceful, like feathers drifting through the air. Gravity, constant and kind, holds us all gently in place. It's the same invisible force that keeps your body resting against the bed right now, reminding you that you are safe, supported, held. In the language of hydropower, falling is never failure, it is transformation. The deeper the fall, the brighter the energy, the calmer the light. Fact 80. The whisper of flow. Even through thick concrete and steel, the whisper of flowing water persists. Engineers call it pressure, but to the sleeping mind, it is music, a continuous hum of movement beneath stillness. This whisper is the sound of molecules in motion, aligning their paths, surrendering to the channel's design. The flow never stops. It simply changes speed, shape, and sound. In your own mind, thoughts move like that, sometimes rushing, sometimes pooling, but always continuing. Hydropower teaches that flow is natural, that stillness and motion coexist. As you breathe in, imagine water gathering at the top of a dam. As you breathe out, feel it glide through turbines below. The whisper of flow reminds us that even in rest, there is gentle continuity. Sleep too is a kind of flow, one that carries you toward renewal. Fact 81. The gravity of calm. Gravity, that quiet sculptor of worlds, is the unseen artist behind every dam. It guides water from mountain to reservoir, from reservoir to turbine, from turbine to sea. Its touch is constant, patient, kind. Without it, no hydropower could exist, no slow turning, no luminous transformation. Gravity is the same gentle force that presses your body into the mattress now, reminding you that you belong to Earth. In this way, physics becomes comfort. Each molecule of water obeys gravity not with struggle, but with trust. You too can trust the pull toward stillness, toward sleep, toward peace. Hydropower is the science of surrender, teaching us that letting go is not weakness, it is the beginning of flow. Fact 82. The circle of energy. In hydropower, nothing is wasted. Water, once used to spin turbines, returns to rivers, to seas, to clouds, and back again. The circle continues, endlessly renewing. This is nature's promise, energy born from cycles, not consumption. That same pattern lives within you, the inhale and exhale, the waking and the sleeping. Each completes the other. The water's journey mirrors your own night's rhythm, gathering, releasing, transforming. Scientists call it sustainability. You might call it peace. To watch the circle of energy is to see time itself breathing. Tonight, let your thoughts follow that circle, looping gently, never rushing, always returning to calm. In every turning turbine is the reminder that endings are beginnings wearing a different shape. Fact 83. The weight of still water. Still water carries weight, a quiet, immense pressure that presses against the dam's walls. Engineers measure it in pascals, poets measure it in wonder. That pressure is potential, waiting to move, waiting to become light. It is calmness with purpose. You too hold that kind of potential, the energy of rest gathering quietly within. When you lie still, you are not idle. Your cells repair, your thoughts settle, your strength renews. The dam's still water reminds us that beneath calm surfaces, power accumulates. Every moment of rest is a reservoir filling. Tonight, let yourself be filled with stillness. Let pressure become promise. Tomorrow you will flow again. Fact 84. The balance of design. Each dam is a lesson in equilibrium. The curve of its wall, the angle of its spillway, the slow rotation of turbines, all tuned to balance nature's push and pull. Engineers listen to water's voice and build accordingly. The result is harmony, not control. Hydropower is science practiced with humility, working with forces, not against them. You can build your own inner dam the same way, designing your nights to channel thoughts gently, to hold peace, to release worry. Balance is both architecture and art. Tonight, as your breathing steadies, imagine that structure forming within you, strong but flexible, guiding energy without resistance. In the symmetry of a dam, we find the geometry of calm. Fact 85. The light born of water. From falling water, light is born. It seems almost magical, a river transformed into radiance. Yet it is merely physics performing poetry. The turbine spins, the generator hums, and electrons dance their gentle circuit. Somewhere far away, a lamp glows softly because a drop of water has fallen gracefully down. Think of that the next time you see light filtering through your window. It may have begun in a mountain stream. The connection is tender, continuous. In every watt of light, there is a whisper of flow, a memory of rain. Tonight, as you drift towards sleep, imagine that light unwinding, becoming liquid again, returning to the water from which it came. The cycle completes. Peace glows quietly in the dark. Fact 86. The patience of the river. Rivers teach patience long before they meet a dam. They learn to carve stone, to wait through dry seasons, to meander without hurry. When they finally reach the reservoir, they have already mastered the art of time. Hydropower simply listens to that rhythm and translates it into energy. The turbines do not force the river, they follow its lead. There is wisdom in that surrender. Tonight, let your thoughts be like rivers, finding their path naturally, not fighting, just flowing. Each moment of rest is a bend in the current, each breath a gentle turn. The river's patience becomes your own. Even in stillness, you are moving toward peace. Fact 87. The song of the spillway. When water overflows a dam, it does not crash, it sings. The spillway becomes an instrument shaped by gravity and time. The sound is deep and continuous, a natural white noise that soothes the mind. Scientists could describe it as turbulence, but listeners hear something else: release. That moment of overflow is the dam's exhale, the earth's sigh. In your own life, release is equally vital, the letting go of tension, thoughts, and wakefulness. As the spillway flows, imagine your worries sliding down its smooth surface, dissolving into mist. The song of the spillway is the lullaby of release, reminding you that flowing away is also a form of rest. Fact 88. The hidden ecosystem. Beneath the surface of reservoirs and rivers, life adapts quietly. Fish find new paths, plants root in silt, microorganisms dance in microcurrents. Even within human-made structures, nature persists, reshaping itself with grace. Hydropower engineers now design with these lives in mind: fish ladders, oxygenation flows, gentle gradients. The science has learned empathy. In that coexistence lies a truth. Balance is not perfection, but adaptation. In your own mind, ecosystems of thought shift and grow. Some drift away, others take root. Tonight, let your inner world reorganize itself peacefully. Like water finding new channels, let your dreams settle where they will. Life, even in stillness, continues softly. Fact 89. The memory of rain. Every drop that spins a turbine once fell as rain. It began high in the clouds, formed from vapor and sunlight, gathered weight, and descended. That descent is recorded in every molecule, a memory of the sky carried into motion. When we speak of hydropower, we are speaking of rain remembering its fall. The same cycle that powers cities also nourishes forests, fills lakes, and cools the air. To think of this is to feel the breath of the planet itself, inhaling through evaporation, exhaling through rain. Tonight, your breath mirrors that rhythm. Each inhale gathers, each exhale releases. Rain becomes river, river becomes energy, energy becomes light, and finally, rest. The memory of rain is the memory of renewal. Fact 90. The eternal turning. The turbines never truly stop. Even when a dam sleeps in darkness, the water beneath continues its ancient turning. This is hydropower's promise, continuity. Long after we fall asleep, the rivers keep singing, the turbines keep spinning, the planet keeps breathing. It is a comforting thought, the world tending itself while we rest. The slow turning of turbines is the heartbeat of sustainability, an endless lullaby written in water and gravity. Tonight, as you surrender to sleep, imagine those turbines turning within you, steady, circular, eternal. Energy flowing, peace restoring, dreams unfolding. The slow turning of turbines becomes the slow turning of the night itself, gentle, protective, infinite. Fact 91. The first whisper of falling water. The earliest dams were not built for power, but for peace. Ancient engineers placed stones in streams simply to calm the flow, to store a little stillness for later. Over time, those gentle barriers became the first instruments of hydropower, capturing the language of falling water and turning it into motion. Every drop that falls carries a whisper of potential, a soft hum of gravity's song. When you listen to a dam spillway, you are hearing the earth breathe, exhaling energy, inhaling calm. Imagine that rhythm inside you, the rise, the fall, the flow, matching your own slow, steady breath. The science of water pressure becomes a lullaby when you feel its pulse mirrored in your chest, reminding you that power and peace can share the same current. Fact 92. The weight of water, the weight of rest. Water is heavy. Unimaginably so. A single cubic meter weighs 1,000 kilograms, pressing calmly against every surface it touches. Inside a dam's reservoir, that weight is balanced perfectly, the pressure distributed like a deep, even breath, through the body of water and stone. Scientists call it hydrostatic equilibrium, but you might call it serenity under tension. The water does not rush unless invited. It simply rests, supported by its own fullness. In the quiet of night, that vast stillness mirrors what happens as you drift into sleep, your thoughts settling, your heartbeat lowering, your inner tides finding balance. The same physical law that keeps a dam standing allows your body to rest in perfect alignment with gravity's gentle pull. Fact 93, flow turns to light. When water falls through turbines, motion becomes electricity, and electricity becomes light. It's one of nature's softest transformations. No smoke, no flame, just the graceful surrender of falling water into spinning blades. The molecules remain unchanged, yet their movement illuminates entire cities. In this process lies a quiet metaphor for rest. Even as you slow, energy is not lost. It simply shifts into another form. As you drift deeper, your mind's currents reroute, from thought to dream, from activity to renewal. Hydropower teaches that flow and stillness coexist, that letting go is its own kind of creation. Fact 94. The pulse beneath the surface. Beneath the calm mirror of a reservoir, water moves in layers. Slow, dense currents at the bottom, lighter ripples at the top. Scientists call this stratification, but it feels more like breathing deep, hidden rhythms beneath a serene face. Even in rest, there is motion. Even in sleep, subtle waves of thought drift below awareness. As temperature and density guide the water's movement, so too does your body follow gentle gradients, warmth leaving, calm entering. When you feel yourself sinking deeper into rest, imagine descending through those layers of stillness, from surface ripples to the tranquil depths below. Fact 95. Gravity's gentle hand. Hydropower is built on trust in gravity, the same invisible hand that holds oceans in place and guides rivers toward the sea. In every droplet's descent, gravity whispers, "I will carry you." This force never hurries, never hesitates. It simply allows motion to happen with quiet certainty. As you lie down, gravity supports you in the same way, drawing tension out, grounding every thought. The science of hydropower becomes a metaphor for surrender. The art of letting gravity do the work. Rest is not resistance, it is cooperation with the pull that keeps you safe. Fact 96. The turbine's secret calm. Inside a turbine, blades spin at hundreds of revolutions per minute. Yet the movement is balanced, smooth, almost invisible. Precision engineering ensures that every rotation is symmetrical, every vibration dampened into silence. The result is motion without chaos, energy without noise. In your own body, the heart plays a similar role, a quiet, consistent turbine turning pressure into life. As you breathe slowly, your inner machinery aligns, each beat steady, each exhale smooth. Hydropower's elegance reminds you that even immense energy can exist in perfect peace. Fact 97. Echoes in the reservoir. Sound travels faster in water than in air, about 4 times faster, carried effortlessly through fluid molecules that touch and transmit. Inside a reservoir, this means that every small sound, a fish's flick, a stone's fall, ripples outward in perfect clarity. In the stillness of night, the water listens. In sleep, so do you. Your senses turn inward, tuned to subtler frequencies, heartbeat, breath, dream. The physics of sound in water becomes a comfort proof that communication continues even in silence, that connection persists even in stillness. Fact 98. The slow dance of sediment. Every river carries tiny grains of earth, silt, sand, and memory. Behind a dam, those grains settle layer by layer, forming quiet archives of time. Each layer records a season, a flood, a drought, stories of movement ending in rest. Sedimentation is nature's way of remembering. As you drift towards sleep, your thoughts do the same, settling softly, forming layers of recollection beneath the surface of awareness. Nothing is lost, only stored, waiting for the next gentle current to stir it again. Fact 99. The balance of flow and resistance. A dam stands not to stop water, but to guide it. Engineers design spillways and gates with immense care, ensuring that flow and pressure remain in harmony. Too much resistance, and cracks appear; too little, and chaos returns. The same principle applies within you. Rest comes when effort meets release in balance. Your mind needn't block every thought, only guide them, letting emotions pass through controlled channels of calm. Hydropower's equilibrium becomes a lesson in inner architecture. Strength that bends, stillness that flows. Fact 100. The mirror of the reservoir. When the wind calms and the surface stills, a reservoir becomes a perfect mirror, reflecting sky, cloud, and mountain with absolute clarity. Scientists call this a low turbulence state, where energy dissipation reaches near zero. It is the physics of peace. As you rest, your mind can reach its own low turbulence state, thoughts smoothing into reflection, emotions balancing into symmetry. Stillness does not mean emptiness, it means clarity without distortion. Hydropower's mirror reminds you how beautiful quiet can be when it holds the world without stirring it. Fact 101. The cycle of return. Every drop that flows through a turbine eventually rejoins the river, continuing its journey toward the sea, and then the clouds, and then rain once more. Hydropower participates in the same eternal cycle as all water, nothing lost, only transformed. So too does your energy return each night. Sleep is your own renewable cycle, restoration flowing back into you, ready to power another day. The science of hydrology becomes a lullaby of renewal, reminding you that every rest leads to motion, and every effort finds its way back to rest. Fact 102. The temperature of calm. Reservoirs regulate temperature, absorbing heat by day, releasing it at night. This thermal inertia keeps ecosystems stable, protecting life downstream. Water's high heat capacity makes it a guardian of balance, resisting sudden change. Your body, too, performs this quiet miracle, maintaining warmth, smoothing fluctuations, preserving equilibrium. As you settle into sleep, the same physics of temperature brings comfort, a steady warmth, a gentle coolness. The calm of hydropower lies not in control, but in the slow, measured embrace of change. Fact 103. The invisible pressure of air. Above every dam sits another kind of pressure, the weight of the atmosphere itself, pressing softly on the water's skin. Scientists measure this as barometric pressure, but you might feel it as a tender hand, the sky leaning close. This invisible weight helps keep balance, ensuring that water and air share the same rhythm. As you breathe, you participate in that same balance, inhaling the sky's pressure, exhaling release. The physical truth becomes a spiritual one. Even unseen forces can hold you gently in place. Fact 104. The language of flow, fluid dynamics describes how water speaks in spirals, vortices, and laminar streams. Each pattern is a sentence in the language of flow, written by gravity and shaped by resistance. When water moves smoothly, scientists call it laminar. When it tumbles, turbulent. In both forms, beauty remains. In your thoughts, too, flow changes character, sometimes smooth, sometimes stormy, yet all part of the same conversation. Sleep is where turbulence softens, where the language of your mind returns to a calm, even stream. Fact 105. The still core of motion. At the very center of every whirlpool, there is a still point, a moment of perfect balance between forces. Engineers study it to understand efficiency. Poets might call it grace. Hydropower is full of such paradoxes, movement creating stillness, pressure creating peace. In your own being, that still point exists too. Deep within, unshaken by surface currents. As you rest, you return to that center, the quiet eye of your own storm, the heart of your own river. There, the science of flow dissolves into silence, and silence becomes your power. Fact 106. The whisper of falling water. At the heart of every dam lies a soft, endless whisper, the sound of water surrendering to gravity. When water flows from a higher reservoir to a lower one, it releases energy, not in a crash, but in a sigh of movement. Scientists call this potential energy turning into kinetic power. Yet in the quiet of night, it feels like the earth itself is exhaling. Hydropower transforms that flow into light for our homes, warmth for our spaces, and still, the river keeps its rhythm. Just as your breath moves gently in and out, this cycle of water is steady, ancient, and kind. Let yourself drift with that rhythm, feeling how nature's motion never truly stops. It only softens, waits, and flows again, like the peaceful tides of rest. Fact 107. The calm within the reservoir. A reservoir is a lake born from patience. Water gathered, stilled, and held in a vast embrace. Beneath the mirrored surface, fine particles settle, and the pulse of the river slows to a calm heartbeat. Scientists study these waters to understand balance, how ecosystems adapt and rest in new stillness. For a moment, imagine yourself as that reservoir, collecting the day's thoughts, allowing them to sink gently to the bottom, leaving the surface smooth and clear. In that stillness, energy is stored quietly, waiting until it is needed, just as your body holds calm energy within, ready to release it when the morning arrives. Fact 108. Light from liquid motion. It may seem almost magical that something as fluid as water can create something as bright as light. Yet, in hydropower plants, the motion of water turns turbines, great underwater wheels that spin with grace. This motion is converted into electricity, a silent transformation from flow to glow. It's the same principle that moves the stars of your mind, gentle changes, small currents of thought becoming illumination. When you rest, imagine turbines turning slowly in your dreams, each rotation releasing a calm radiance through your body, a soft, shimmering reminder that even movement can lead to peace. Fact 109. The endless cycle. Every drop of water that travels through a dam will someday return to the clouds. Hydropower is part of a perfect circle: evaporation, condensation, rainfall, and flow. Nothing is lost. It only changes state again and again. Scientists call this the water cycle, but it feels more like the Earth's lullaby. When you breathe deeply, you join that continuity. Inhale, exhale, return. Each breath mirrors the planet's own rhythm, a loop of renewal. Let that thought comfort you. The same water that once powered ancient rivers may now rest near your window, whispering against the glass as rain. Fact 110. The balance between strength and stillness. Dams are monuments of balance, immense strength holding back the fluid gentleness of water. Engineers design them to manage both power and peace, to control without conquering. The pressure behind the wall is enormous, yet perfectly contained. Like your own mind, capable of great intensity, yet choosing calm restraint. In this harmony between force and control lies a lesson. Peace does not mean weakness, but equilibrium. Tonight, let the structure of the dam become a metaphor for your rest, strong boundaries holding a deep reservoir of dreams, safe and serene behind the walls of sleep. Fact 111. The deep murmur beneath the surface. Beneath the surface of a hydropower reservoir, sound travels differently, slower, softer, more rounded. Fish navigate by sensing vibrations, subtle movements through the water's body. Scientists record these murmurs to understand aquatic life's delicate communication. To listen beneath the waves is to hear the language of patience. As you sink into your pillow, imagine yourself beneath that calm surface, surrounded by the hum of quiet existence. Every sound is softened, every thought slowed. You are safe in the depths of your own stillness, where silence becomes song. Fact 112. The gentle turning of turbines. Turbines may seem mechanical, but their motion is closer to dance than to labor. Each blade moves in a slow, continuous rotation, a circular grace that mirrors the movement of celestial bodies. Engineers fine-tune this rhythm to extract energy efficiently, yet the turbine's turning also symbolizes continuity, work without strain, motion without haste. As you lie still, imagine those great blades moving in the dark, turning water's push into quiet power. Let your thoughts move in the same way, unforced, turning gently, producing light in silence. Fact 113. The river that never forgets. Even when a river is dammed, its memory persists. Water finds paths beneath, around, through the smallest spaces. Scientists trace these subtle flows, discovering that nature always remembers its course. In your own mind, there are rivers too, emotions, memories, dreams that may pause, shift, or transform, but never disappear. Let them rest tonight. Dams are not endings but pauses, holding, storing, preparing for renewal. You too are storing quiet energy now, gathering strength for the flow that will return with dawn. Fact 114. The pulse of renewable power. Hydropower is one of Earth's oldest renewable energies, born from the same force that carved canyons and nourished valleys. It uses what already moves, no fire, no smoke, only flow. The science is simple, motion into energy, energy into light. Its beauty lies in repetition, in the gentle persistence of nature's rhythm. As your heart beats quietly, know that it too is a renewable source, cycling calm, circulating warmth. Each beat echoes the turning water, each moment a renewal of peace. Fact 115. The mirror of the morning lake. When sunrise touches a hydropower reservoir, the surface becomes a mirror of gold. Scientists notice how light affects evaporation, photosynthesis, and even the microclimate around the dam. But you don't need equations to feel its calm. The golden light rests on the water's skin like a blessing. In that reflection lies a truth: even immense structures can coexist with beauty. As you drift towards sleep, picture that still lake at dawn, the world quiet, the air cool, the light soft as breath. You are that lake now, reflecting peace. Fact 116. The sound of controlled flow. Inside a dam, water moves through chutes and passages, guided but not silenced. Engineers design these channels to reduce turbulence, allowing the flow to remain smooth and even. The sound is low, continuous, a deep rumble like distant thunder, softened by distance and stone. Scientists study this resonance to ensure stability, but to the ear, it is almost meditative. Imagine that sound now. A flowing hum beneath your thoughts, reminding you that control and calm can coexist. Let that steady undertone carry you, like a lullaby made of water and time. Fact 117. The sleep of sediment. Over time, fine sediment drifts to the bottom of reservoirs, forming intricate layers like pages of a waterborne diary. Each year writes a new story: floods, droughts, gentle rains. Geologists read these layers to learn the Earth's history of change. Yet within those sediments is stillness itself, particles resting after long journeys. Let your thoughts settle the same way. Each idea drifts down, lighter now, resting in quiet layers. The past remains, but peacefully stored. You are the reservoir, and your mind is clear water above soft memory. Fact 118. The bridge between nature and technology. Hydropower is the meeting point of two worlds: natural flow and human design. The dam's curves follow the geography, its walls shaped by the valley's embrace. Scientists call this harmony, integrated system design, but it feels more like cooperation. Energy drawn from movement without taking the movement away. Tonight, let that image soothe you. Your own body in balance between nature and thought, instinct and reason. You two are a bridge where calm intention guides natural rhythm. Rest in that balance where power and peace coexist. Fact 119. The glow that comes without fire. Long before electricity from combustion, hydropower offered light without flame. It illuminated cities, powered mills, and turned darkness into safety, all from water's patient flow. Scientists value it for its cleanliness, poets for its gentleness. To draw light from water is to transform patience into radiance. As you rest, imagine your own calm becoming brightness, no spark, no blaze, only a soft glow that rises from within. Peaceful, renewable, endless, a light that asks for nothing but stillness. Fact 120. The eternal return of flow. Every dam, every turbine, every drop of water is part of a greater story, motion returning to origin, energy never lost. Hydropower reminds us that nothing truly stops, it only changes form. The science of energy conservation becomes, in this moment, a meditation. Your own rest is not absence, but transformation, tension into calm, wakefulness into renewal. The river flows, the turbines turn, the night deepens, and you drift safely within that cycle. The balance between power and peace holds you gently as water holds the moonlight. Fact 121. The first breath of falling water. The moment water begins its descent over a dam's spillway is both ancient and new, a smooth ribbon of liquid surrender. Hydropower begins here, in the gentle pull of gravity coaxing each droplet downward. This is the same force that guides rain from a cloud or a leaf from a branch. Imagine that endless curtain of water as a slow inhalation, and then an exhalation, powering turbines far below with a patient steadiness. As you picture this, your own breathing finds that same rhythm, a calm, repetitive cycle. The sound is a lullaby in motion, a constant, reassuring murmur. In this way, the first breath of falling water becomes a guide toward your own night's rest, reminding you that even the most powerful energies can be soft at their heart. Fact 122, gravity's gentle hand. Hydropower is born from gravity, not in a sudden jolt, but in a tender, continuous pull. The dam does not force the water to fall. It simply offers a place for gravity's hand to guide it downward. This invisible companion has worked quietly since the Earth's beginning, drawing rivers toward seas, shaping valleys in slow embraces. Imagine gravity as a benevolent guardian, gently placing each drop where it belongs, like tucking a child beneath a blanket. You, too, are held by this same force, cradled against the surface of the world, kept safe in its embrace. As water flows downward, turbines awaken softly, and you feel your own eyelids grow heavier, pulled toward the quiet shores of sleep. Fact 123, the slow turning heart. Deep within the dam, turbines turn not hastily, but with a slow, measured patience. Each blade moves through water as if through honeyed light, converting motion into energy without rush. These rotations are steady, dependable, almost like the turning of the earth itself. Imagine lying close to such a heart, feeling its unhurried pulse beneath layers of stone and water. Its rhythm is like a distant drum, muted and low, guiding you toward a tranquil surrender. Just as turbines draw power from the calm inevitability of water's journey, you can draw rest from the inevitability of night's approach, letting your own pulse match the slow turning heart. Fact 124, reservoir mirrors. Behind the dam lies a reservoir, a vast, still mirror holding the sky. In daylight, it reflects drifting clouds. At night, the quiet glimmer of stars. This stored water is more than a resource. It's a patient keeper of potential, waiting for the moment to flow. Imagine yourself as part of that mirrored surface, holding the day's memories gently, without spilling, waiting for release when the time is right. The calm expanse offers a model for your mind to be full, yet still, deep yet serene. In such stillness, rest arrives naturally, like moonlight settling on water. Fact 125. The whisper beneath the spillway. Beneath the spillway's roar lies a softer sound, a whisper of currents meeting air. This is where oxygen enters the water, giving life to fish and plants downstream. The science is simple. Turbulence blends air and water into a nourishing mix, but the feeling is profound. It is like a quiet conversation between elements, a secret exchange that sustains the river's journey. As you listen in your mind, the whisper becomes a lullaby, encouraging your own breath to deepen and soften. The spillway's voice reminds you that even beneath the louder moments of life, there is always an undercurrent of calm. Fact 126. The patience of stored sunlight. Hydropower is, in truth, stored sunlight. Every drop of water once rose from the ocean through evaporation, lifted by the sun's warmth into clouds, returned as rain to rivers. The journey from sunlight to spinning turbine is long and patient. Imagine that warmth traveling through seasons, through droplets, through rivers, finally arriving in the dark, quiet chambers of the dam to become electricity. This patience mirrors the way rest gathers in you, slowly, gently, until it finally arrives. You are connected to the same cycle, warmed by the same ancient light, now flowing quietly toward dreams. Fact 127. The soft persistence of flow. Water never resists the path gravity gives it, it simply flows. In hydropower, this persistence is transformed into gentle strength. Imagine the river approaching the dam, not with force, but with trust, letting itself be guided through channels, past gates, into turbines. This is a lesson in surrender, in allowing the path ahead to carry you where you need to be. As water completes its journey, so too can you let your body follow the natural descent into rest, a flow without resistance, a drift into the night's quiet depths. Fact 128. The night watch of the control room. Inside every hydropower dam, a control room glows softly in the dark hours. Screens show the flow, gauges mark the pressure, and quiet operators ensure everything moves as it should. This constant watchfulness means the dam never sleeps, and yet it enables the sleep of cities, powering lights, warmth, and the hum of safety. Imagine that gentle vigilance surrounding you, the sense that someone somewhere is keeping watch while you rest. It is a reminder that you can let go, knowing the world continues to hum softly along. Fact 129. The cool breath of the tail race. Below the dam, the tail race releases water back into the river's embrace. This water is often cooler, freshly stirred from the depths of the reservoir. Fish find shelter there, and mist rises in thin veils along the shore. The science lies in the mixing of layers. The dam draws from deep reserves, sending them downstream. For you, the cool breath of the tail race is like the air that settles across your pillow, refreshing, resetting. It reminds you that endings can be beginnings, that release can be renewal. Fact 130. The slow dance of sediment. Sediment, tiny grains carried by water, often settles in reservoirs. Over years, layers build like pages in an ancient book, recording storms, floods, and quiet seasons. This accumulation is a silent archive of time, resting beneath still waters. You might imagine these layers as the gentle settling of thoughts at day's end, each memory finding its place, each worry sinking to rest. In hydropower science, sediment shapes the reservoir's future. In your own quiet science, it shapes the calm that follows surrender to sleep. Fact 131. The moon's reflection in energy. When a reservoir lies beneath a full moon, the silver light mixes with the stored power below, not in the literal sense, but in the way beauty joins function. Hydropower continues quietly through the night, lit by a celestial companion. The moon's reflection is a reminder that even as your eyes close, cycles continue, tides shift, rivers flow, turbines turn. You are part of this balance, resting while the world moves gently around you. The moon watches, the dam works, and together they weave a blanket for your dreams. Fact 132. The unbroken circuit. From falling water to spinning turbines to glowing lamps in distant homes, hydropower forms an unbroken circuit. Energy travels invisibly, yet faithfully, along lines and wires to where it is needed. Imagine this circuit as a thread of light connecting places and people, and connecting you to a web of quiet care. In sleep, your own body completes its circuits, renewing, repairing, restoring. The dam's endless loop mirrors your own, a cycle that never truly stops, even in the softest hours. Fact 133. The gentle power of headwater. The headwater, the calm expanse above the dam, holds the potential for all that follows. Its surface rarely reveals the energy beneath, yet it contains the height and weight that will become electricity. This is the science of potential energy, but it is also the poetry of quiet strength. You too hold unspoken reserves, the calm before action, the stillness before motion. In rest, you gather headwater within yourself, so that tomorrow you may release it with grace. Fact 134. The silent passage through penstocks. Penstocks are great pipes that guide water toward turbines, and though the water moves swiftly within them, the sound outside is muted. These hidden passages are the arteries of hydropower, unseen, yet essential. Imagine your own breath as a penstock, carrying calm deep within you. The water's journey through the penstock is like thoughts slipping quietly into dreams, swift but silent. You need not see the process to trust it, you need only feel its gentle result. Fact 135. The last gift to the downstream. After the dam's work is done, the river continues, carrying its cooled, oxygenated water to forests, wetlands, and coastal deltas. This gift sustains life far beyond the dam's walls. In science, this is the continuity of ecosystems. In rest, it is the continuity of your own peace. You release the day's energy, and it flows into the hours ahead, nourishing moments you have yet to touch. The downstream is a future you cannot see from here, but you can trust it, just as the river trusts its own endless journey. Fact 136. Mist rising at dawn, in the earliest hush of morning, when the world still remembers its dreams. A dam's spillway can breathe out a veil of mist. This mist is not chaos, it is order in softness, born of water's sudden leap from height to basin. Tiny droplets hang suspended, each cradling the light in its own delicate embrace. Scientists call it aerosolized water, but here it is simply the sky's exhalation. The way mist curls and drifts mirrors the mind at rest, thoughts unformed, gentle, free. Watching such a scene, you can feel your own pulse slow, as if each droplet is a minute of quiet gifted to you. The dam stands as guardian, the mist as its lullaby, and together they remind you that even power can be tender. Fact 137. Light through falling water. When sunlight touches a curtain of falling water, it shatters into 1,000 soft fragments of color. This is refraction, light bending as it passes through the moving droplets. The science is simple, yet the effect is profound. A rainbow born of motion, suspended in the air just long enough for your eyes to absorb it. The dam's spillway is not just an engine of energy, it is a prism, painting the air with serenity. Just as sunlight through your bedroom curtain can feel like a whispered promise of safety, so too does this dance of light soothe the mind. You breathe deeper, letting each hue rest upon your thoughts, and with each breath, the day's weight dissolves, replaced by a quiet spectrum of peace. Fact 138. The soft roar of power, water rushing through turbines creates a low, steady sound, a gentle roar that is vast yet strangely comforting. Physicists know it as a broadband noise spectrum, but your senses recognize it as nature's white noise machine. The sound masks the sharp edges of the world, the way a blanket smooths the contours of a restless sleeper. Standing near a dam, you can feel the vibration through the soles of your feet, a reminder that the earth hums beneath you. In sleep, such a hum becomes memory, the imagined sound of distant waterfalls wrapping the mind in an unbroken stream of calm. Here power is not loud, it is a mother's heartbeat magnified, steady and sure. Fact 139, droplets suspended in air. In the spray at a dam's base, droplets can hang for seconds longer than you expect. Surface tension holds them together, resisting the pull of gravity just enough for you to notice their delicate persistence. These tiny spheres act as lenses, catching glimmers of sunlight and scattering them into miniature flares. To the mind preparing for sleep, they are stars brought down to earth, constellations you could almost reach if you extended your hand. The science is in the cohesion of molecules. The magic is in the stillness they create in your thoughts. You watch them float, and time feels slower, your breathing deeper, your eyelids heavier. Fact 140. Mist cooling the air. Mist drifting from a dam's release carries away heat, cooling the air around it by evaporation. Each droplet takes a fragment of warmth and offers back a breath of freshness. The effect is subtle, but you feel it like a sigh against your skin. On warm days, this cooling creates pockets of comfort, a natural air conditioner powered by the rhythm of water. Sleep, too, thrives in cooler air. The body's temperature dipping gently as night draws near. Standing in that mist, you sense the invitation to rest, as if the dam itself is preparing you for dreams. Fact 141, rainbows in spray. Under the right angle of sun, the spray at a dam births rainbows. The science is in light's refraction and reflection, but the experience is in wonder. Seeing a rainbow emerge from power and mist feels like a secret revealed, a soft reminder that beauty hides in the mechanics of the world. Each arc of color is a bridge between energy and peace, between movement and stillness. In the mind's eye, this rainbow can linger long past nightfall, a memory to carry into sleep. You close your eyes, and the colors remain, woven into the fabric of your dreams. Fact 142, the mirror of still water. Above a dam's wall, the reservoir can lie in perfect stillness, reflecting sky and cloud as if the earth were holding a mirror. The physics of calm water are simple, no wind, no disturbance, but the feeling is profound. This mirrored surface seems endless, a sheet of glass resting between worlds. Looking into it, you see both above and below, and the mind recognizes a symmetry that feels safe. Sleep is like this reflection, a surface that holds all possibilities, yet remains untouched until you step into it. The dam protects this mirror, and so protects your quiet. Fact 143. The slow release of water. Sometimes, water leaves a dam not in a roar, but in a measured pour, a slow, deliberate release. Engineers call it controlled discharge, but your senses know it as patience made visible. The stream slides down the spillway, unhurried, letting gravity do its work with no urgency. Watching it, you learn the art of pacing, how strength can be gentle, how time can stretch without breaking. Sleep arrives in the same way. Not all at once, but in gradual surrender. The dam's slow release becomes a metaphor for your own letting go. Fact 144, the breath of turbines. Within a dam, turbines spin as water passes through, and the air around them shifts in subtle currents. This is not wind, but the breath of machinery, warm where motors hum, cool where water churns. Standing in these currents, you feel the interplay of elements, the balance that keeps everything moving. In a way, it is like breathing alongside the world itself, inhaling its cool mist, exhaling its warm hum. As night falls, remembering this rhythm can steady your own breathing, guiding you toward the soft, even cadence of sleep. Fact 145. Moonlight on the spillway. Under the moon's gaze, a spillway becomes silver. Water reflects lunar light in ripples and flashes, turning engineering into poetry. The science is in the reflective properties of water's surface. The magic is in how it turns night into a luminous dreamscape. Standing there, the sound of water blends with the cool glow, and you feel as though the moon is pouring its own light into the basin below. In sleep, moonlight often appears as a symbol of safety, its gentle illumination a sign that darkness holds no threat. Fact 146. The pulse of release gates. The gates of a dam open and close with measured precision, creating pulses in the water's flow. This rhythm can be tracked like a heartbeat, steady and predictable. Scientists may chart it in cubic meters per second, but your senses read it as the dam's own breathing. In watching this pulse, you find your own, slowing, deepening, aligning with the calm certainty of machinery in harmony with nature. It is a reminder that rest comes easiest when there is a rhythm to follow. Fact 147. The sound of distant falls. Far downstream from a dam, water may tumble over natural rocks, creating smaller waterfalls. The sound arrives softened by distance, a muffled cascade that carries no urgency. Acoustic physics tells us that higher frequencies fade faster over long distances, leaving the deeper, more soothing tones. Listening to this, you are hearing the dam's echo, a softened memory of its power. In the mind's quiet, these tones become a lullaby, carrying you gently towards sleep. Fact 148. The dance of droplets in crosswinds. When wind meets the spray at a dam's base, droplets begin a dance. They twist and spiral, tracing invisible paths through the air. This is fluid dynamics in motion, each droplet following the currents that guide it, yet seeming free. Watching them, you feel your own thoughts drift. Carried by unseen breezes toward places of rest, the dance is endless, yet never frantic, and so your breathing slows, matching the gentle sway of water caught between air and earth. Fact 149. The glow of mist at sunset. At day's end, when the sun lowers to kiss the horizon, mist rising from a dam can catch its final light. The droplets glow faint gold, fading slowly into cooler tones as night approaches. Optical scattering explains the color shift, but your heart knows it as the day's farewell. In this glow, there is no rush, only the quiet certainty that every ending invites rest. You watch until the light is gone, and in that moment of transition, you feel yourself ready to surrender to dreams. Fact 150. The hidden silence beneath the surface. Beneath the churning spillway, deeper in the reservoir, there is a profound stillness. Here, water moves in slow currents, insulated from the noise above. This is the dam's secret chamber of calm, a place where energy waits in potential, untouched by wind or sound. The physics of pressure and depth keep it hushed, but the feeling it imparts is timeless. In imagining this place, you create your own inner reservoir, a depth within that no disturbance can reach. From here, sleep flows naturally, a quiet tide carrying you into the night. Fact 151. The whisper beneath the water. Beneath the mirrored surface of a calm reservoir, water moves with a whisper too soft for human ears. Each current, each subtle swirl, carries stories of gravity and patience. Hydropower begins here, not as a roar, but as a sigh. Water descending through turbines turns quiet pressure into gentle energy, a transformation as natural as exhalation. Just as your breath falls and rises, the flow finds its rhythm. In this silent exchange between height and depth, you can feel the planet's pulse slowing to match your own. The world does not rush here. It hums softly, endlessly, in cycles of calm. Fact 152. The gentle weight of water. Every drop in a dammed lake holds potential energy, tiny parcels of poised stillness. The deeper the water rests, the more softly powerful it becomes. Engineers measure this stored calm in meters and kilowatts, but nature measures it in silence. The layered weight of water presses down upon itself, smoothing turbulence into serenity. Like the weighted comfort of a blanket, this pressure soothes the restless surface. Beneath, the molecules drift slowly, waiting for release. As you picture that stillness, think of your own body surrendering to rest. A gentle pressure pulling you towards sleep's deep basin. Fact 153. Turbines and the song of circles. Inside a hydropower plant, turbines spin in perfect repetition, circles within circles, motion folded upon itself. The sound, if you could hear it from within, would be low and steady, like the hum of distant thunder muffled by mist. That rhythm transforms falling water into light for homes, warmth for nights, comfort for families. Energy born of peace, not flame. And as turbines turn, they echo the cycles of your own heartbeat, constant, patient, sure. You too are a generator of quiet endurance, spinning dreams from the flow of your breath. Fact 154. Lakes that remember the sky. When a valley fills with new water, it becomes a mirror for clouds and starlight. Every calm lake formed by a dam remembers the shape of the sky above it. Microcurrents trace patterns that mimic drifting cumulus, and on windless nights, the surface holds constellations perfectly still. Scientists studying light diffusion call this effect optical scattering. But in the language of rest, it is reflection made visible. To gaze upon such a lake is to look into a slowed-down version of the world, an invitation to let your own thoughts settle until they, too, become reflections of peace. Fact 155. The breath of reservoirs. Even still water breathes. Beneath the surface, gases exchange in microscopic whispers, oxygen entering, carbon leaving. This respiration sustains tiny lives and balances ecosystems unseen. In these exchanges, nature demonstrates a truth familiar to every resting body. Calm is not the absence of movement, but its gentlest form. As you breathe slowly now, think of a vast reservoir doing the same. Inhaling light in the morning, exhaling coolness at dusk. You and the lake share this rhythm, both alive, both quietly renewing. Fact 156. The rhythm of release. When a dam opens its gates, water flows again, carrying the memory of stillness into motion. Scientists call this controlled discharge, but in spirit, it is a release, like finally letting go of a held breath. Downstream, rivers quicken, sediments swirl, fish follow the call of moving water. Yet even in motion, calm persists, for release is not chaos, it is freedom returning to form. As you drift towards sleep, imagine yourself as that water, once contained, now flowing gently, guided by gravity, carried toward rest. Fact 157. The hidden forests below. Beneath the tranquil surface of many reservoirs lie forests, now transformed into underwater sanctuaries. Trees stand preserved by cold, mineral-rich layers, their trunks soft to the touch of passing fish. These submerged woods are silent archives of what once was, sheltering new life amid memory. Ecologists study them as evolving habitats, where decay feeds creation. In this balance of loss and renewal, there is a quiet wisdom. What is submerged is not forgotten, it becomes foundation. As you sink into sleep, imagine these still trees holding you gently, roots deep in dreams. Fact 158. The slow dance of sediments. Bit by bit, rivers carry fine grains of earth into lakes, where they settle in tranquil layers, each one a record of seasons. Geologists read these layers like soft pages of time, each whispering of floods, blooms, and calm years. Sediments remind us that stillness gathers meaning. What settles is not lost, it becomes memory. Tonight, as your thoughts drift and settle, imagine them forming gentle layers within you, a geology of peace, building quietly with every breath. Fact 159. The glow of stored sunlight. Though hydropower depends on falling water, its origin is sunlight, heat drawing moisture skyward, clouds forming, rain descending. Each watt of hydropower is thus a softened echo of solar energy, stored in the patient language of gravity. Engineers describe this as the water cycle. Dreamers might call it the circulation of light. When you turn off a lamp and close your eyes, remember, the energy that warmed your world may have begun as sunlight reborn in rain. Such continuity comforts the mind, reminding it that endings are merely transformations. Fact 160. The murmur of microcurrents. Even in the calmest lake, invisible microcurrents trace spirals of temperature and light. Warm water glides above cool layers, shifting with the gentlest breeze. This stratification is nature's quiet choreography, delicate, balanced, unseen. Scientists measure it in degrees. Your body feels it as equilibrium. In sleep, your own circulation mirrors this phenomenon, warmth rising, calm settling. The lake within you finds its balance too, flowing softly in the dark, holding you steady through the night. Fact 161. The bridge between flow and stillness. Hydropower stands at the meeting place of motion and rest. The dam holds, the river rushes, between them, equilibrium hums. Engineers fine-tune this balance daily, maintaining harmony between storage and release. The result is a landscape of patience, a world that works by not hurrying. To rest is to dwell in this same in-between, a place where energy gathers quietly, awaiting gentle use. As you linger on the edge of sleep, imagine that poised moment, balanced between wakefulness and dream, pressure and peace. Fact 162. The shimmer of plankton dreams. Tiny drifting organisms, plankton, fill the still waters of reservoirs with invisible life. They move in slow, graceful patterns, drawn by faint gradients of light. In the dark, some glow with bioluminescent radiance, turning the lake into a silent galaxy. Researchers call them indicators of water health. Poets might call them dream dust. Their gentle glow mirrors the mind's own quiet flickers as it drifts towards sleep. Within stillness, there is life. Within darkness, light. The lake, like your dreaming self, shimmers softly from within. Fact 163. The quiet engineering of balance. A dam, though massive, is a study in restraint. Every stone, every gate, is placed to hold back chaos and create calm. The structure breathes with the landscape, yielding slightly to pressure, expanding and contracting with temperature and time. Engineers design it not to defy nature, but to converse with it, to hold, to listen, to release. This is engineering as meditation. You too are built for balance, flexible, enduring. As you rest, imagine your own boundaries softening yet strong, able to contain emotion, to release gently, to persist calmly through time. Fact 164. The symphony of falling drops. At the spillway, droplets leap from height, striking stone and air in perfect rhythm. Their collective murmur becomes a soft white noise, nature's lullaby. Physicists describe the sound as broadband turbulence. Your ears hear comfort. It masks distraction, creating a cocoon of focus and calm. Many people fall asleep to recordings of such water sounds, instinctively returning to the ancient rhythm of rain. As you listen inwardly now, imagine those droplets falling endlessly, each one a note in the long song of rest. Fact 165. The infinite loop of calm. When water leaves a dam, it begins the journey all over again, flowing, evaporating, raining, collecting. The hydrologic cycle is a circle without end, a promise of renewal. Energy, water, life, all flow forward, then return. This eternal return is the ultimate lullaby of nature, reminding us that restoration is built into the fabric of existence. As you drift into sleep, imagine yourself within that loop, flowing, rising, falling, returning, each breath a wave, each dream a gentle turn of the wheel. Nothing is lost, everything becomes calm again. Fact 166. The river's heartbeat. A dam listens to the river's pulse, catching each beat in its vast, patient hands. Water flows in with the rhythm of rain and snow, and leaves with the measured cadence of turbines turning. In this gentle cycle, hydropower transforms movement into quiet strength. The steady thrum of water through generators is softer than the wind through pine, a whisper that says all is well. Just as your own heartbeat slows when you rest, the dam's regulated flow turns turbulence into calm, chaos into harmony. You can imagine this pulse under your pillow, a deep, slow wave that carries you away. Fact 167. Moonlight on the reservoir. A large reservoir behind a dam is like a mirror for the night sky, holding the moon's silver gaze without blinking. Hydropower reservoirs store energy in stillness, capturing potential in the quiet weight of water. The science is simple. The higher the water stands, the more power it can offer when released, but the beauty is the waiting, the pause. Just as you rest before the day begins, the reservoir rests before the turbine spins. In your mind's eye, you see a surface untouched by wind, reflecting stars like promises of peaceful dreams. Fact 168. Turbines as gentle guardians. Inside the dam, turbines turn not with violence, but with the grace of a slow dance. Hydropower works by letting gravity guide water downward, spinning blades that convert falling water into electricity. Yet in the hush of night, you can imagine these turbines as guardians, endlessly rotating in a calm circle. Their movement is smooth, hypnotic, a mechanical lullaby. Just as a fan's hum can soothe you to sleep, the turbine's quiet, cyclical sound reassures the river that its journey is safe, and reassures you that all motion can become peace. Fact 169. Gravity's gentle pull. Hydropower depends on gravity, that invisible hand that draws water from the heights to the depths. It is the same gentle force that pulls your eyelids closed, slow, inevitable kind. In the science of dams, gravity is the silent partner, turning stored water into flowing energy without a word. Imagine the drop of water beginning its fall, no hurry, just surrender, slipping through channels towards the waiting blades. In sleep, your mind follows the same descent, from wakefulness into the quiet pool of dreams. Fact 170. Measuring time in ripples. Hydropower marks time not with clocks, but with ripples and releases. Every surge through the spillway is a moment, every pause an hour of waiting. Engineers read these patterns, but you can feel them too, the way a reservoir holds steady, then exhales. This is time measured in water's language, soft and fluid. Just as your breathing sets the rhythm of rest, the dam's releases set the cadence of the river below. To drift into sleep is to let time flow without numbers, only gentle waves passing by. Fact 171. The weight of stillness. A dam holds back millions of tons of water, yet in the dark hours, it feels lighter than air. The science says that potential energy builds in every molecule held above the river's natural path, waiting to be transformed. But in the quiet mind, this weight becomes stillness, a vast, tranquil pause. Imagine all that liquid mass resting, unmoving, under a blanket of stars. The reservoir is a sleeping giant full of power, yet perfectly calm. In your own rest, you carry your day's weight the same way, held, but not pressing. Fact 172. The whisper of spillways. When water overflows through a spillway, it is not a roar, it is a whisper stretched across stone. Spillways guide excess water safely away, preventing floods, protecting the calm. Scientifically, they manage capacity and pressure, but in the language of dreams, they are the river's sigh. Imagine standing nearby in the night, hearing a constant, soft hush, like a long exhale. That sound is the dam breathing out, just as you breathe out tension when sleep comes. Fact 173. Fish and flow. Some dams include fish ladders, gentle stairways of water that let life pass freely downstream. This is science built with compassion, ensuring that the river's inhabitants continue their ancient migrations. Watching fish glide upward, step by liquid step, is like seeing dreams rise into consciousness. In sleep, your thoughts swim just as effortlessly, finding paths between moments. The dam's design honors motion and rest in equal measure, a reminder that even in stillness, there is a way forward. Fact 174. The seasonal breath. Hydropower feels the seasons, snowmelt swelling its reservoirs in spring, summer rains feeding its flow, autumn's crisp air slowing evaporation, winter's ice sealing its surface. The science is a cycle of supply and demand, but in the mind, it is a breathing pattern across months. Each season brings a new texture to the water's voice, a rushing tone, a placid hum, a muffled silence. Sleep follows seasons too, deeper in winter, lighter in summer. The dam teaches us that all rhythms are natural and all changes are part of the calm. Fact 175. Energy without flames. Hydropower creates electricity without combustion, no smoke, no fire, only water's quiet descent. Scientifically, this means fewer emissions, a cleaner sky. Spiritually, it means the power is born of gentleness, not burning. Imagine your home lit by the glow of water's gift, a light that traces its origin to rain clouds and streams. Just as your dreams are illuminated without harshness, hydropower's energy arrives without violence, letting night remain cool and pure. In fact 176, the sound beneath the surface, underwater near the dam's intake, the sound is muted, a deep, steady murmur. Water moves towards the turbines with purpose, yet without haste. In physics, this is laminar flow, smooth, orderly. In dreams, it is the sound you hear when pressing your ear to a seashell, endless, comforting. Sleep thrives in such sounds, where there is no suddenness, only a continuous, gentle tone carrying you deeper into rest. Fact 177. Light on the control room. Inside a dam's control room, panels glow softly, green and amber lights marking safe operations. Technically, these lights indicate voltage, turbine speed, water levels. In night stillness, they look like constellations indoors, stars that guide the keepers of the river. Imagine a caretaker leaning back in a chair, listening to the quiet hum of machines, knowing all is in balance. This same knowing can settle in your own heart, that somewhere, someone is watching over the flow and over you. Fact 178. The memory of rain. Every drop in a reservoir began as rain falling on hillsides, slipping through grass, joining streams. Hydropower gathers these memories, storing them until needed. Scientifically, this is the water cycle: precipitation, collection, release. In dreams, it is the journey of a thought from waking into sleepy, falling gently into place, joining the whole. The dam holds the rain's story, and when the time comes, lets it flow again, just as your mind releases its gathered moments into the river of rest. Fact 179. Night flow. At night, hydropower often runs with less demand, the turbines turning slower, the water's movement more languid. Engineers call it off-peak operation, but you might call it sleep mode. The river hums in a lower tone, the dam's pulse softened. Imagine standing downstream in the moonlight, feeling the gentler current swirl around your fingers. This is the world's way of resting, even as it keeps watch. In your own night, your thoughts too find slower currents. Fact 180. The forever cycle. Hydropower is part of a cycle that never stops. Rain falls, rivers rise, dams store, turbines turn, water flows on. The science shows no beginning or end, only transformation. This is the same truth as sleep. Each night returns, each morning wakes, and the rhythm continues. Imagine lying in bed, knowing that somewhere, water is moving in perfect measure, a pulse older than memory, steady enough to carry you through the night. The dam is the keeper of this cycle, and tonight, it keeps you too. Fact 181. The river's gentle engine, water, endlessly moving, endlessly giving. Hydropower begins where gravity meets patience, as rivers tumble softly through turbines, turning the water's quiet descent into electricity. No flames, no smoke, only the whisper of motion. The energy is born from height and flow, a dance between potential and release. Each drop carries the memory of rain, the shimmer of sunlight that drew it skyward before it fell again. In this balance, carbon fades into the background. and what remains is a serene exchange between earth and energy. Let your body feel this same cycle, the rise and the fall, the inhale and the exhale, the quiet usefulness of simply existing. Fact 182, the deep breath of reservoirs. When a reservoir spreads behind a dam, it is like a deep inhalation of the landscape, a pause in the rush of the stream. Beneath its still surface, sediments rest and aquatic life finds new rhythm. The stored water becomes potential, a calm promise of future motion. Hydropower captures this poised moment, releasing it slowly, respectfully. The carbon footprint here is small, as though nature itself were exhaling in measured peace. You too can rest in that stillness, the way a lake holds silence under moonlight, waiting only for dawn to stir its reflection. Fact 183, the carbon whisper. Compared to fossil fuels, hydropower's story is quiet, its carbon voice barely audible. Once built, a dam emits little, the turbines spin with the strength of falling water, not burning fuel. It's a hum instead of a roar. Over the years, this whisper saves the sky from countless tons of carbon. Imagine that invisible lightness spreading across the atmosphere, easing the air we breathe. As you drift towards sleep, let that same lightness fill your lungs, the air cleaned by calm, the night made softer by renewal. Fact 184, the eternal cycle of rain. Every drop that fuels hydropower has traveled a long, circular path, from sea to cloud, from cloud to stream. It is the same water that nourished ancient forests and cooled the stones of early Earth. Hydropower does not consume it. It borrows its motion, then lets it continue. This endless recycling is nature's pulse, a rhythm of giving and returning. Feel that cycle within yourself. The gentle loop of breath, the ebb of thought, the flow of calm through your body. You are part of this planetary rhythm, endlessly renewed. Fact 185, the sleeping giant of efficiency. Hydropower is one of the most efficient energy systems ever created by humankind. More than 90% of the water's potential energy can be turned into electricity, silently, smoothly. There is no combustion, no wasteful loss, only the turning of turbines under steady flow. Like a heart that never tires, hydropower beats with quiet precision. Let this thought cradle you. The idea of motion without struggle, of power born from grace. Efficiency can be gentle, and gentleness can be strong. Fact 186, the mirror of the moon. At night, the surface of a reservoir becomes a vast mirror for the moon. That same water, by day, spins turbines. By night, it reflects silver calm. Hydropower connects light and dark, energy and rest. The photons that shimmer on its surface once traveled across space, and now they bless both electricity and dreams. Imagine lying beside that water, watching ripples drift across moonlight, feeling each ripple as a thought dissolving into sleep. In the balance between motion and reflection, peace is generated endlessly. Fact 187, the silent pulse of gravity. Gravity is the unseen partner of every hydroelectric dam. It pulls each droplet downward, transforming altitude into energy. This invisible force is constant, as steady as your heartbeat. Hydropower listens to gravity's whisper, translating it into light for homes and warmth for nights. The carbon story here is one of omission, what is not burned, what is not released. Gravity asks for nothing in return, only that we rest in its reliability, knowing that what falls can always rise again through the cycle of rain. Let that trust settle in your chest as you breathe. Fact 188. The river's memory. Even when a river is harnessed by a dam, it remembers its ancient course. The water still dreams of meandering valleys, of stones worn smooth by centuries. Hydropower honors this memory by using the river's natural strength without consuming its essence. In this partnership, carbon remains low and the planet breathes easier. Think of your own memories flowing like that, reshaped but never lost, transformed into quiet sources of strength. The past can fuel the present gently, like water turning invisible wheels in the night. Fact 189. The breath of the turbine. Inside the heart of a hydropower station, turbines spin with the rhythm of flowing water. Their motion is steady, circular, hypnotic. There is no flame here, only the sigh of rotation, a sound like the deep exhale of the earth itself. The carbon emissions are minimal because this motion draws from nature's gravity rather than combustion. As you imagine the turbine's slow spin, let your thoughts spiral with it, round and round, quieter with each turn, until stillness becomes your natural state. Fact 190. The balance of blue and green. Hydropower sits at the meeting point of water and earth, the blue of rivers, the green of forests. In that union, energy is created without the heavy shadow of carbon. The landscape becomes both a source and a guardian. Trees drink from the same waters that generate light, creating a cycle of renewal. As you close your eyes, picture these colors blending softly, blue calm, green peace, merging like breath and heartbeat, sustaining both life and rest. Fact 191. The ancient future of water wheels. Long before modern dams, humans used simple water wheels to grind grain and power mills. The principle remains unchanged, using flowing water to create useful motion. Today's hydropower plants are their descendants, refined and vast, yet still humble in purpose. The carbon savings are immense, but the spirit is the same. Working with nature, not against it. Let this ancient continuity soothe you, knowing that progress can be peaceful and that the oldest rhythms still turn unseen in the night, steady as sleep. Fact 192. The soft light of stored power, water stored in a reservoir, is like a lantern waiting to glow. When released, it rushes through turbines, transforming potential into illumination. That light born of water's descent carries almost no carbon trace. It is the soft light of patience, energy created slowly, cleanly. Imagine that gentle glow filling your room, not harsh, but tender. Like dawn easing over a still lake, you are safe in that light, sustained by something that began as rain. Fact 193. The quiet keeper of seasons. Hydropower adjusts with the seasons, more flow in spring, gentler in summer's dry breath. It listens to the pulse of weather, adapting without complaint. This responsiveness keeps energy steady, even as carbon emissions remain low. Nature and technology breathe together. Think of your own life like that, flexible, adaptive, flowing with change instead of resisting it. In that surrender, peace is found. Just as the river finds its path around each stone, unhurried, unstoppable. Fact 194. The echoes beneath the surface. Beneath the water's still face, a quiet community of life continues. Fish, plants, microbes, each part of a delicate balance. Modern hydropower seeks to preserve this harmony, designing passages and flows that mimic natural rhythms. In doing so, it keeps carbon low and ecosystems breathing. Underneath it all, the hum of energy is gentle, like a lullaby from the depths. Let that image carry you, life continuing quietly below, energy flowing above, the world layered in soft persistence and rest. Fact 195. The promise of endless motion. Water never truly stops. Even when it rests behind a dam, it is waiting, ready to move, to fall, to rise again as mist. Hydropower captures this endless readiness, the promise of motion without depletion. It is circular, sustainable, and low in carbon, a mirror of the planet's patience. As you drift towards sleep, imagine yourself as part of that circle, energy stored in calm, released only when needed. You are the reservoir, the flow, the quiet promise of renewal. All is balanced, all is well. Fact 196. The whisper of falling water. When water descends from a high place, it carries the memory of mountains and the promise of quiet energy. Hydropower begins with this graceful fall, a simple act of gravity becoming light, warmth, and calm. Each droplet moves with intention, never hurried, never uncertain. Scientists know this motion converts potential energy into kinetic power, captured by turbines that turn like slow, steady hearts. The water continues on, unchanged in essence, only transformed in purpose. As you drift towards sleep, imagine that same conversion in your mind, old thoughts falling away, new softness rising. The rhythm of the cascade mirrors your breathing, slow, deep, restoring balance. Fact 197. The gentle storage of stillness. A dam is not just concrete and steel. It is a keeper of still water, a cradle for motion yet to come. Behind its curved body rests a reservoir, a quiet mirror of sky and cloud. Scientists describe it as potential energy, stored patiently, waiting for release. The calm surface hides the silent readiness of millions of droplets, all aligned in tranquil suspension. Like the moments before sleep, the reservoir teaches us the strength of stillness, that waiting can be powerful, that rest is not absence but preparation. As you breathe, imagine your own thoughts settling into that same serene pool, smooth, reflective, undisturbed. Fact 198. The turning heart of the turbine. Within the heart of a hydropower plant, turbines spin, not with noise, but with purpose. The blades turn as water glides past, their motion transforming flow into gentle current, electricity, the quiet hum of life. Engineers see efficiency, dreamers see the poetry of transformation. The turbine's spin is steady, circular, eternal, much like the rhythm of breath in a sleeping body. In sleep, your own energy transforms too. Tension becomes release, wakefulness becomes renewal. Imagine the turbine turning within you, releasing your day's energy into peaceful light, round and round, soft and sure. Fact 199. The river's eternal return. Hydropower is part of the great water cycle, the endless story of evaporation, condensation, and return. Every drop that passes through a dam once rose as mist from an ocean, danced among clouds, and fell again as rain. This perpetual movement connects sky to land, energy to calm. Scientists call it a closed loop, but to you, it feels like breath. Inhale, exhale, repeat. The same molecules that spin turbines may someday rest as dew upon morning grass. In this circular truth, there is comfort, nothing is lost, only changing form, as dreams do when you drift into deep sleep. Fact 200. The silent partnership of gravity. Gravity, the unseen friend, powers every hydropower dream. It is the downward tug that guides each droplet, the invisible thread weaving sky to earth. Without it, water would hover, restless. With it, flow becomes purpose. This same force holds you gently to your bed, anchoring you to the quiet planet that cradles all sleepers. Scientists measure gravity in precise units, but its feeling is simple, the promise that you won't drift away. Tonight, as you surrender to rest, feel gravity as a soft embrace, a universal lullaby whispered through every falling stream. Fact 201. The music of flow and resistance. Hydropower is the conversation between motion and obstacle. The river presses forward, the dam listens and shapes its path. Flow meets form and energy is born. In physics, it's transformation. In nature, it's harmony. The vibration of water against structure creates low, resonant tones, the kind of hum that soothes and steadies. Imagine those frequencies beneath your pillow, guiding your thoughts into gentle rhythm. Resistance is not the end of motion. It is the beginning of music. In sleep too, the day's pressures soften into harmony, a current finding its peaceful way around every stone. Fact 202. The light within the wave. When hydropower turns turbines, it releases energy that becomes light, the glow that fills cities, the warmth that powers dreams. Scientists can trace the electrons moving through wires, but the poetry lies in knowing that light once fell as rain. Every illuminated window has its origin in a droplet's descent. Picture that lineage as you close your eyes, a soft lamp glowing from the power of ancient rainfall. Energy becomes illumination, just as wakefulness becomes dream. The journey from water to light mirrors your own transformation without loss, radiance born from calm. Fact 203. The breath of the reservoir. Large bodies of stored water breathe with the seasons. In summer, they expand under warm air. In winter, they contract beneath ice. Scientists measure this as thermal stratification, layers of warmth and coolness shifting in quiet dialogue. To listen to a reservoir is to hear the Earth's pulse slowed down to a whisper. Beneath the surface, fish drift in still corridors, plants sway in liquid silence. As you breathe in your own rhythm, imagine your lungs as reservoirs, rising, falling, balancing the inner climate of calm. The body, too, holds its seasons gently. Fact 204. The dance of droplets and sunlight. Every dam reflects the sky. Shimmering bands of light ripple across its surface, a living canvas painted by the sun. Physically, this is refraction and reflection, the bending of light through moving water. Spiritually, it's a reminder that even in containment, beauty persists. The play of light over the reservoir teaches us about adaptability, how stillness can shimmer, how control can coexist with grace. As you drift toward sleep, imagine those ripples crossing your thoughts, bending brightness into softness, scattering your worries into prisms of calm. The light moves, and so do you, gently inward. Fact 205. The memory of rain. Every drop in a hydropower system has a story. It once fell as rain, carved valleys, joined streams, lingered in roots. Scientists track its journey through catchments and runoff, but the deeper truth is one of memory. Water remembers its paths, not as data, but as flow. Within each molecule lies the echo of thunderclouds and misty mornings. As you rest, imagine your own memories becoming water, flowing, merging, smoothing their edges. Like rain returning to river, your thoughts find their quiet course home, moving toward the still reservoir of sleep. Fact 206. The gentle balance of ecology. The ecosystems around dams adapt in quiet resilience. Scientists observe new wetlands forming, fish finding new routes, birds nesting along gentle shores. Life adjusts to the rhythm of managed flow. Balance emerges not from perfection, but from persistence. In your own life, balance arises the same way, through adaptation, gentle shifts, and acceptance. Let the idea of ecological harmony cradle you now. Every adjustment, every pause, every breath contributing to your inner landscape of calm. Like the river, you find your way around obstacles, always seeking the sea of rest. Fact 207. The pulse of the planet's power. Hydropower supplies nearly 1/6 of the world's electricity, a global heartbeat sustained by rivers and rainfall. Scientists see data and grids. Dreamers see a planet breathing through water. Each watt of power begins as motion, then becomes connection, lights, warmth, shared comfort. As you lie here, you too are part of that pulse, exchanging energy with the world in unseen ways. Feel your own rhythm matching the quiet thrum of Earth's hydrologic heart. With each breath, you join that current, flowing through networks of peace and gentle renewal. Fact 208. The architecture of calm. Dams curve with intention, arches of strength, shaped to hold back entire rivers. Engineers design them with precision, balancing pressure and form. Yet their silhouettes often resemble sleeping giants, resting between mountain and sky. The structure's calm is its secret, stability through balance. Imagine that same architecture within you, your spine as the dam's arch, your breath as the steady flow behind it. Strength does not disturb the water, it shapes it lovingly. As you drift deeper, feel your body's design, poised, capable, serene, holding the quiet reservoir of dreams. Fact 209. The future streams of innovation. Scientists are reimagining hydropower, smaller, gentler systems that work with rivers instead of against them. Turbines shaped like fish fins, sensors that listen to flow rather than control it. The future of energy hums in harmony with the water's own will. Progress can be peaceful, innovation can be kind. As the world turns toward sustainability, so too can your inner world turn toward ease, solutions that do not force, but flow. Picture tomorrow's rivers whispering through new designs, soft and intelligent, much like the dreams gathering now behind your eyes. Fact 210. The dream of infinite return. At the end of all cycles, water, light, energy, there is return. The droplet that once spun a turbine will someday rise again as mist, fall again as rain, flow again as river. Scientists call it continuity, poets call it grace. Sleep follows the same rhythm, departure and return, night after night. Nothing is lost, only renewed. As you breathe now, you are part of that pattern, falling, floating, rising again. The dream of future streams unfolds within you, endless, gentle, ever-flowing toward light. Fact 211. The whisper of falling water. Every drop that tumbles from a mountain stream carries a memory of clouds, a soft descent through air into the waiting arms of earth. Hydropower begins with this quiet gravity, a patient gathering of energy older than any language. As water falls, it turns turbines, gentle giants that hum like distant lullabies. The science is simple and serene. Potential energy becoming motion, motion becoming light. Yet even in that transformation, nothing is lost, only reshaped. The water flows on, unchanged in essence, continuing its endless cycle. When you listen to the rhythm of rain against your window, you are hearing this same conversion, energy becoming calm. Let that thought settle, energy flowing, softly, endlessly, as your mind drifts into its own current of rest. Fact 212. The river's heartbeat. Inside every dam, there is a slow pulse, a measured release of water that mirrors a steady heartbeat. The turbines spin not in haste, but in rhythm, like the gentle cadence of breath. Hydropower stations regulate this flow with care, balancing the needs of the land and the living. It's a science of moderation, of finding harmony between movement and stillness. Each controlled surge of water is like an exhale, each reservoir a deep inhale. The engineers listen to the river's quiet instructions, designing systems that echo natural balance. As you rest, imagine your own breath aligning with that flow. Inhale, the reservoir fills. Exhale, the turbines turn. Your body becomes a calm hydrosystem, recycling peace through every cell. Fact 213. The mirror of still reservoirs. When a dam holds back a river, the surface becomes a vast, mirrored sky. Sunlight scatters across it in trembling gold, and beneath, the stored water waits, serene and immense. Scientifically, these reservoirs store gravitational potential energy, a reservoir of possibility. Yet emotionally, they resemble our own minds before sleep, still on the surface, yet full of quiet depth below. In this stillness, energy gathers, preparing for gentle release. As reflection deepens, both water and mind grow calm. Imagine lying beside that mirrored lake, feeling your thoughts settle like silt at the bottom. The world continues, but in this moment all is held. Fact 214. The eternal cycle of rain. Every dam is a resting place, for rain a pause in the endless journey from cloud to ocean and back again. Hydropower does not consume water, it borrows its strength for a moment, then lets it go. The cycle continues unbroken, a planetary breath that has lasted billions of years. Evaporation, condensation, precipitation, each phase a lullaby of renewal. The rain that once touched ancient forests may now turn a modern turbine, whispering through metal blades with timeless grace. As you breathe tonight, think of that eternal exchange, taking in, letting go, and always returning. Peace, like rain, finds its way home. Fact 215. The turbine's gentle spin. Deep within the hydropower plant, turbines turn with deliberate slowness, converting water's descent into electricity's hum. Though the process is powerful, it is not violent. The curves of the blades are designed for grace, shaped to let water glide rather than crash. Engineers study fluid dynamics to make each movement efficient and kind. It's motion without haste, force without aggression. This is how nature teaches us that strength can be soft. When you imagine those turbines turning, think of the slow rotation of your own thoughts before sleep, spinning quietly, creating light in the darkness of the mind. Fact 216. The balance of flow and stillness. Hydropower depends on equilibrium, the precise coordination of inflow, storage, and release. too much or too little, and the system falters. This balance mirrors the body's own need for rhythm, the steady pulse of circulation, the gentle exchange of breath. Scientists call it regulation, but it feels like mindfulness. The dam listens to the river, just as you listen to your inner tides. When you find your still point, you are like water held in perfect tension, ready, waiting, peaceful. Let your thoughts slow to that balanced flow where nothing is rushed and everything finds its time. Fact 217, the light born from water, hydropower transforms motion into light, an invisible alchemy. When water turns turbines, it spins generators that awaken electrons, sending them dancing through wires until they become illumination. The glow of a bedside lamp, the soft radiance of a city in the distance, all may trace their lineage to a single drop's descent. Light born of water, movement turned to calm radiance. As you drift towards sleep, imagine this gentle transformation occurring within you, energy becoming warmth, thought becoming glow. You are your own little generator of peace. Fact 218. The quiet guardians of valleys, dams stand like sentinels in the landscape, vast, curved walls that hold back time as much as water. Built with layers of concrete and care, they endure decades of pressure, weather, and change. Their design is not only strength, but stability, spreading the weight of the water evenly across their structure. Scientists measure stress and strain, poets might call it patience. Each dam protects the valley below, allowing life to thrive in balance. As you rest, imagine those walls standing silent in the moonlight, steady, protective, immovable. You too have inner structures that hold steady through the tides of life. Fact 219. The symphony of droplets. Every hydropower system begins as a symphony of droplets, countless tiny impacts forming a continuous tone. Acoustic engineers have measured this sound. Low frequencies that soothe and calm, like the hush of distant surf. Water's fall produces white noise that masks distraction and invites rest. Scientists use these sounds in sleep therapy, knowing that our brains respond instinctively to the rhythm of water. The sound is ancient, encoded in our biology as safety. Hear it now, even in imagination, the gentle cascade, the steady hum, the lull of science and sound. Fact 220, the life beneath the flow. Though dams change the shape of rivers, life adapts in subtle ways. Beneath the surface, fish find new paths, algae bloom in calm coves, and ecosystems adjust to the rhythm of managed water. Scientists study these patterns to keep the balance between energy and ecology. Water, ever generous, finds ways to nurture life even in altered states. In this adaptation lies a lesson. Peace is not the absence of change, but the gentle reshaping of self to the current. Allow your thoughts to drift and reform as nature does, without resistance. Fact 221, the memory of ice and steam. The water that passes through a turbine today may have once been glacial ice or ancient vapor from a primordial sea. Hydropower connects us to the planet's deep memory, a continuity of matter that never truly disappears. Every molecule carries a cosmic history, a quiet record of transformation. As it moves through dams and rivers, it whispers of mountains long gone, of oceans unborn. When you drink, when you breathe, when you rest, you share that lineage. You are part of the water's story, ancient, enduring, cyclical. Let that thought cradle you in timeless calm. Fact 222. The gentle mathematics of flow. Behind every serene cascade lies the quiet precision of mathematics. Engineers use equations to predict how water will move, how pressure will form, how energy will emerge. Yet these numbers describe beauty, the graceful arcs, the rippling waves, the slow descent. Fluid dynamics becomes a language of elegance, where science and art dissolve into one another. To rest is to trust in such invisible calculations, to let natural forces balance themselves. You need not solve the equations. You only need to feel their harmony, like the steady rhythm of your heartbeat in the night. Fact 223. The moon's gentle influence. Even hydropower, born of rivers, is subtly guided by the moon. Lunar gravity pulls at oceans, shaping tides that feed rivers, influencing rainfall, and affecting reservoir levels. The moon's slow orbit writes invisible music on Earth's waters. Scientists measure it in centimeters, but the effect is profound. As you rest, imagine that same soft pull guiding your dreams, an unseen rhythm aligning you with cosmic motion. The moon calls to water, and water responds, and you, made mostly of water, follow the same serene tide. Fact 224. The breath of the planet. When hydropower lights a home, it releases no smoke, no heat of combustion, only the whisper of moving water. It is one of the cleanest sources of energy, recycling Earth's own gravity. Scientists describe it as renewable, but it feels more like a breath, exhale of rain, inhale of light. The cycle continues endlessly, nourishing both planet and spirit. As you breathe now, know that you are echoing this same natural efficiency. Nothing wasted, nothing forced, just the gentle exchange of life's quiet energy. Fact 225. The return of the rain. At the end of every cycle, water rises once more, vapor lifting skyward, beginning its journey again. The dam releases, the river flows, the sun warms, and clouds gather in patient silence. This is the eternal return of the rain, the planet's soft heartbeat repeating through ages. Hydropower is not just energy, it is participation in this grand rhythm. As you drift towards sleep, imagine rain forming far above you, destined to fall again, to flow, to rise. You are part of that rhythm. You are the calm between drops. You are safe. You are at rest. Good night and sleep well.